Okay, we're recording now, kids. I'll wait for Kina's to come on in. There she is. Look at that gorgeous headshot. That's a Michael Roud headshot. Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure, right, Kina? She's still muted.
Hmm.
Doo, doo, doo. Hey.
Hey, hi.
Hi. I only see your gorgeous headshot, not
I'm
your
coming.
real life face.
Oh, I know I'm coming. Hold on.
Okay, okay.
I've got too many tabs open.
Says my life. Who has more than 5 tabs open on there at any time? 10?
Sometimes,
15?
Happening.
hopefully not that many.
Yeah, so I have like tabs, but then I have different screens so I can flip to different screens. So everything that's the Desert Playhouse is on one thing, and then I
Oh,
have the
yes.
tabs, and then everything that's like teaching is like on a different thing, and it's like it's all sectioned out. And when my computer forces me to shut down and restart, I'm like, no. Because then you got to reset all of the tabs. I'm like, the
Yeah.
tabs are there for a reason.
Yeah.
Hi, Kina. It's good to see your gorgeous face.
It is good to see your face. How is everyone?
This is
Good, good.
this is the
Doing well, doing
class.
well.
I will get started now that we're all on.
Okay.
Welcome to the table read class of POTUS, or Behind Every Great Dumbass Are Seven Women Trying to Keep Him Alive. Okay.
Okay.
This is a bi-monthly class that I do for the Desert Playhouse. You have to audition, as you guys, most of you know. Markina didn't audition, but most of you know you have to audition, and you get cast, and then we read the table read and we discuss it afterwards, what we learned, things that we could do better, what to expect if this might be a real job, all of that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. I'm so glad you are all here joining me. We are currently casting for Landman, which is a Paramount Plus um, show, and it shoots in Texas. So if you are wanting to participate in that, I know Michelle and Tommy are coming back on for that one. There's a lot of roles in that one, not as many women roles. I figured I'd give the women a break because the men haven't had many roles in the past month, but it's a great show, and you guys should be learning it, especially since most of you are regional action actors and will most likely be able to go out on those co-stars, guest stars for that show. And then after that, we're going to do the morning show. So be
Mm.
ready for that one. Okay. Other classes that I am working on some business of show business workshops. I'm going to do some mental health um, workshops, mental health for actors. I'm actually going to also have, if any of you have youth in the business or no youth in the business, a parent workshop for mental health to be able to support their youth that are coming through. So those are in the works. I have a filmmaker for actors program that's going to come on, and the founding members of this, you guys, are literally going to go with me through producing a feature film. So we're starting with screenwriting, and you'll learn the basics of screenwriting, but then we'll also literally pick the film that we're going to produce from the script. We'll walk through optioning it, we'll walk through fundraising, we'll walk through the whole shebang, and we'll literally go from script to screen to distribution to all of that kind of stuff. So it's a bigger ordeal, but if that's something that you're interested in, please get on the wait list for it, and that way you'll get information when it comes along. And then the last thing is a talent launch boot camp, which some of you guys know, but this is the keystone of the talent, excuse me, the Desert Playhouse. I produce your marketing materials for you. If I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell, get your headshots done. I customize 2 scenes for you, write them, and we produce them. We rehearse them, and then we go out to LA and we shoot them. And so you have everything that you need to be able to be going out for auditions and pushing your career over to the next level. So if you're interested in learning more about that, summer is the next one coming up. Rehearsals would start in May. The deadline to enroll is August 30th, and we'll be in LA June 22nd that week, shooting all of our stuff. So keep those dates in mind. All right. Any questions about the classes that I have coming up? You guys all have an audition review. Some of you have participated in it. Anybody want to talk about their session for their audition review? Anybody? I know three of you have. No? You're gonna keep your...
I'm shy.
What's that?
I said I'm shy.
Jay, Stephanie, or Michelle, you want to talk about your experience?
It was great. I got a lot of good tips. I appreciate it, especially like she mentioned before the your point of view, where you're looking at the camera, those types of things. So it was very helpful from going through my headshots and my resume to everything else. So it was great.
Fantastic. Yeah. So you all get, if you get one free one, and then if you ever audition multiple times and you want another one, it's only $25 to come sit with me for a half hour. So it's pretty awesome. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's dive into introductions. I'm going to introduce Markina because she is my very special guest. Kina and I acted together. We came up through Playhouse West together. We did the Motherfucker with a Hat together play, which was another rip-roaring comedy with very foul language.
Mhm.
Hence the title. But she is a dear friend of mine. We actually used to get together um, on a, did we go weekly? Weekly basis and practice our self-tapes in person. We'd gather as a little group and we'd practice our scripts and practice our auditioning. So she was a creative family member of mine. Kina, what else are you working on right now? What you do? What you up to?
Oh, well, as you know, I'm always in class because I am a big believer of that. So I am in class. Um, and I am looking at a short that I'm going to be doing pretty soon. That is a period piece.
Oh,
It's going to be a
fun.
really good one. Something that you don't see a lot about is the nurses that were involved in Vietnam.
Okay.
So it's from their perspective. So that'll be good. And just always auditioning, really getting some good stuff. Most of my auditions, by the way, are coming out of New York, oddly enough. And so that's interesting. But yeah, just, keeping it pushing.
Plug
You
it
know how
on.
I am.
One audition at a time. Juliet
That's
asked
right.
what class are you taking?
So right now I am taking uh Deb Aquila's masterclass here in LA, if you've heard of her.
She's casting, right? She's casting director.
Um, she is a casting director. I mean, yeah, that's her day job. She
Hmm.
casted Shawshank Redemption, so she's
Hmm.
one of the greats. But she, in my opinion, is an even better acting coach. I mean, she is phenomenal. She's from New York. She trained herself, I think, at Tisch, and
Mm.
she
Hmm.
teaches Stella Adler.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
um,
Fantastic. You're
yeah,
getting a selection of the greats. You got some Meisner there, you got some Adler in your training, like,
yeah, but
buckle.
I'm always Meisner. Like that's me. That's my foundation. That's what I am. That's who I am. That's who I
Mhm.
believe in. I just happen to love Deb, and that just she's Adler, so I was like, all right, I'll dip into some Adler a little bit, but I'm always about the Meisner.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Markina. Thanks for jumping in
Sure, man.
and helping to fill out the cast. I'm going to put you guys the list. If you will go in order of the list and introduce yourself. Let me know your name, where you are located, and what role you are reading for.
I'm sorry, is the list in the chat?
It's
Okay, I
listed in
see
the
it.
chat. Yes.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Eurice McNeal, and I'm based in Los Angeles, and I'm reading for the role of Stephanie.
I'm Jay Rapallo Jacobs. I will be reading the role of Bernadette, and I'm based out of Arizona.
Hi, I'm Filip Lizanna. I'm based out of Houston, Texas, and I'm reading for the role of narrator.
Hey, I'm Juliet Myers. I'm in Los Angeles, California, and I'm reading for the role of Chris.
Hello, my name is Michelle Renee Castro, and I'm reading from the part Swing, and I'm in from Dallas, Texas.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Summerland. I'm from Phoenix, and I'm reading for the part of Dusty.
Hey y'all, Thomas Michael Miller. I live in Los Angeles and I'm reading for Gene.
And Kina, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself for the camera? for Margaret.
Yeah. Hi, Marquina Brown here. I am located in Los Angeles, and I am reading for the role of Margaret, right?
Yep.
Margaret.
Mm-hmm.
I am Marge. Yes.
And I, Ashley Atwood, will be reading for Harriet. Let's get started. When your scene is not on, go ahead and mute, but make sure that you're ready because once it hits your turn, it goes quickly, right? So make sure to unmute when you're ready. Any questions? Everybody ready to get going? Oh, there's a couple questions.
Are we gonna take a quick 5 at intermission or just barrel through?
We can take, you want to do it at intermission or you want us to wait for the timer? Because the timer goes off at 7:30 and
Okay.
through.
Yeah, I'm good either way.
Philip, what was your question?
So this is my first time doing this essentially.
Sure.
Would it be a bother for you to prompt me? I mean, I'll be following along and looking, right? And I've looked
Okay.
over the script and such, but I'm like right now, like, am I reading characters or am I starting at setting? You know what I mean?
Okay,
Where
so I'm gonna have you start in where it says characters here.
okay.
There. I'm gonna have you start there. And there's a
Mhm.
whole bunch of author's notes, which we might skip. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And then anything that's not off character dialogue. However, I don't want you going, Harriet, but Jean. I don't want you doing that. But you can be like, you can read Harriet versus Jean, right? And then
Right.
anything that's not like there's news that's playing on the TV or headlines or anything like that, make sure you read that.
Okay.
Okay. But it's a play, so there's not quite as much. I cannot prompt you because it will mess up with the pace of the thing. So just make sure you're following along.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions?
My sound
Yeah, you're
is cutting in and out. I just wanted to let you know if there's a lag.
yeah, there is a
that
little bit
that's
of a lag. So hopefully we can, I don't know if there's tabs that you need to pull in or
Let me see if I can change. I'm wondering if I can change my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Also, Ash, I
Sure.
want to bring up that there's a lot of talking over in this play, which is going to be interesting with Zoom. So everybody should be cognizant of that there may be some words that won't be heard.
Yeah, because Zoom won't let you talk over each other. So I would say like try not to talk over. I know that it's written in to here. Try not to talk over each other. And then when it is written side by side, hence like this, you guys see it? I would go left to right. So let Harriet go first here and then Margaret so that we're not talking over each other. It won't be the same, but it will be better than not being able to hear anything. So those are good questions. Anybody else? Ready to get started? All right, let's go. This is POTUS by Selina Fillinger. Philip, the show is yours.
All right. Characters in order of their emotional proximity to POTUS, closest to furthest. Harriet, his chief of staff. Jean, his press secretary. Stephanie, his secretary. Dusty, his dalliance. Bernadette, his sister. Chris, a journalist. Margaret, his wife, the first lady. Setting, the White House. Perhaps not the current administration exactly, but broad strokes of past presidents combined with stress dreams of future ones. And, if we're being honest, an amalgamation of them all. For any woman who's ever found herself the secondary character in a male farce. Act 1. Harriet versus Jean.
Cunt.
What?
Cunt.
No.
It's not a question.
No.
It's not a yes or no question.
Publicly?
Yes.
No.
Stop saying no.
How public? Who exactly was there?
Washington Post,
Well,
Huffington Post,
they're hardly.
CNN.
Okay.
New York Times, BBC, and 3 Chinese diplomats.
The ones who speak English?
They all speak English.
I think there was one last year who struggled with idioms, like slang, so it might have gone over his head.
Everyone heard it, everyone got it, and 2 people gasped.
No.
Stop. There are no questions, Gene. Stop saying no.
He said the words, "My wife's a cunt."
He said, please excuse my wife's absence. She's having a cunty morning.
Well, that's not so bad.
Wow.
It's not. We can contain that. We all have cunty mornings sometimes. My son has them every week. You're clearly having one today.
She was in the room.
What?
Margaret wasn't absent. She was in the room. She entered late, but she had been there for 10 minutes when he
Called her absent.
and a cunt.
Cunty.
If this is you workshopping your response to the press right now,
I'm processing. I'm trying to. Why didn't he see her?
he was sitting.
And therefore invisible?
He was standing. So the diplomats feel like it would be rude. So they were all standing, and they were all standing in front of her, blocking his view, and she was sitting.
He stood for the entirety of the meeting.
He can't sit right now because of the thing on his.
The thing on his. Right. I thought they were removing that.
Well, they couldn't remove it last week because of the shit with Israel.
Shit with Israel.
And there was talk of doing it today, but he got booked up. 9 a.m. briefing, 10 a.m. China, non-proliferation discussions in an hour.
Okay, then.
2 p.m. Leslie Hopper endorsement.
Okay, but afterwards?
3 p.m. handshakes with the Jacobson twins.
Can we reschedule them?
The 2 veterans who were blinded and maimed while saving their units in Iraq. I'm going to say no.
Just spitballing.
3 p.m. handshake, 5 p.m. briefing, 6 p.m. pedicure.
Push the pedicure!
Have you seen his feet?
Okay, blink, Harry. You're not blinking.
Petty Tux 8 p.m. gala honoring FML.
What?
FML, Female Models of Leadership Council.
Okay, I think you need to include the council part in the acronym because do you know what that means?
I just told you.
No, but literally.
Literally, I've bullied 200 feminists into attending tonight's gala and written 37 drafts of POTUS's speech so that our female base doesn't literally shrink smaller than a nutsack in the snow. It's final hour. We're headed to re-election. FML.
But if someone texts you FML, it means.
The point is, he's booked, Gene. He's fucking booked. So they had to reschedule the procedure, which is why Margaret entered late, and she was talking to Dr. Rifeson, and she entered the meeting late, and POTUS didn't see her, and bing, bang, boom, cunty.
So Margaret agrees with Dr. Rifson that the abscess on his anus should be removed, and that makes her a cunt?
He's pissed she's insisting on surgery. His friend Jerry from college said that he did the same thing and that it just went away without surgery.
What the fuck does Jerry know?
He said he should rub some tea tree oil on it.
How does a person even get an anal abscess?
Jerry told him it could happen sometimes from ass play.
Mm.
Ass play.
Mm.
When it's rough, ass play.
I know what ass play is.
When it's rough, ass play.
Stop saying ass play. Is that a particular activity a plausible cause for this anal abscess?
How would I know?
Here's right hand.
Not for that activity.
Here is chief of staff.
Exactly. You want to know about stuff like that? Ask the first lady.
Right. Like Margaret would ever go anywhere near his.
And she would if she knew. She would know if she was engaging in that kind of thing with anyone else.
Why would she know?
Because it's him and it's her and it's their weird marriage with all their weird arrangements.
Well, she and I don't have an arrangement, so I can't just go up to the first lady and ask if her husband is getting into rough ass play with some other.
I'm just saying, if you want to know.
Want to know? I don't want to know. In the last 3 years, I've had to bail on 7 first dates, and my sister's mastectomy just to spin shit. I don't want to know. Right now, I'm trying to figure out if my biggest problem today will be explaining why the president of the United States used the word cunty to describe his wife to 3 diplomats, or if there is something more awful involving ass play that I need to know about. Is there, Harriet? Is this day about to become an oozing pustule on the anus of my week? Or is everything fine?
Margaret versus Stephanie. Stephanie has flung herself in front of the closed door, blocking Margaret's path. Margaret, seething, wears an impeccable suit and Crocs.
I'm going to punt that man's abscess ass across the South Lawn, and if you don't get out of my way, I will shred you like the sad cardigan you are.
Ma'am, he's really busy.
With what?
You know that I can't.
If he's in there rubbing tea tree oil on his...
He's not, ma'am, anymore. but he is in the middle of
I checked his schedule and I know he has a break right now.
something came up.
Did it?
Yes, ma'am.
Margaret.
Pardon?
Margaret or Marjorie. Do not address me as ma'am. I sent a memo this morning.
Yes, ma'am. Margaret. Margie. Why are we calling you by your name now?
To show how earthy I am.
Okay.
Because apparently these days it's not enough to be wildly accomplished and deeply effective.
Oh, this is about the...
I've launched free launch programs in 6,000 public schools, but all the tweens can meme about are the stilettos I wore to one homeless shelter.
Is that why you're wearing...
Why do you think, Stephanie? You think this was my idea? You think when I gave my speech as valedictorian, I said, one day I will walk the halls of the White House in shoes that can double as flotation devices? No. But there are children to feed, funds to raise, and Time Magazine is interviewing me today for their Women of Excellence series. So I will not allow anything to distract me from my work.
Going for the door
Least of
again.
all.
Ma'am, Margaret, Margie, I am the presidential secretary, and nobody enters that door without my say-so.
She hits a wide stance, arms above her head in a V, hands clenched into fists.
Oh, what's happening?
Harriet gave me a book about women taking up space in the workplace, and I've read it twice.
Are you having a stroke?
I'm power stancing. I'm decreasing my cortisol levels and increasing my testosterone, thus increasing my confidence.
Harriet opens the door, hitting Stephanie hard in the back and knocking her over.
Ow!
Jesus, Stephanie, what the hell are you doing? What is on your feet?
Does anyone read my memos?
She wanted to see the president, and I said no. My spine was in alignment, and I used my declarative sentences.
That's great. Have you been listening to the playlist I recommended?
Bitch beats? Yes, ma'am. Very empowering. I listen to it every morning while I eat my overnight oats.
Why don't you go practice your power stances in the bathroom?
Stephanie scurries to the door, then turns back to say something.
That trash fire must be extinguished.
She's still in the room, Margaret. Yes, Stephanie?
The merch for the Female Models of Leadership Council arrived.
Thank you.
Stephanie flees.
She is like a menopausal toddler.
Stephanie has a photographic memory and speaks 5 languages. So, to what do I owe the pleasure, Margaret?
Well, I actually need to chat with POTUS, so if you'll just excuse me.
He didn't mean it. He's in a lot of pain and he's clouding his judgment.
Your loyalty to my husband is admirable, and I hope you continue to feel fulfilled by your choice to trade youth and beauty for a life of service to him.
Thank you.
But if you do not let me speak to POTUS right now, I refuse to attend the Female Models of Leadership dinner this evening.
We both know that would hit your ratings harder than his.
Oh, damn it, Harriet. You cannot prevent me from having a marital discussion with my husband.
I absolutely can, on any day during his term in office, but especially today when he has a nuclear non-proliferation meeting in half an hour, a gubernatorial candidate endorsement in 2, and an oozing pustule on his anus. I finally got him calmed down from your argument this morning.
What argument? It wasn't an argument.
When you told him to stop behaving like his father, grow a pair, and have the procedure without anesthesia?
I had 2 natural births and 1 root canal with no drugs. He can certainly.
He is not in his right mind and he's making terrible decisions.
What else is new?
He wants to pardon Bernadette.
He wants to pardon Bernadette?
Lower your voice. He had a phone call with her yesterday, and you know how manipulative she can be when he's feeling vulnerable.
Well, we've talked about this. You can't pardon someone just because she's your baby sister.
I know.
Our ratings would plummet. We would be crucified. She's wanted in 3 countries. Harry.
I know.
Not to mention all the holidays we had to start spending with her if she were to get out. You know, Bernadette bought my daughter a dildo for her 16th birthday. Did you know that? And stole my ruby earrings. Probably wears them as nipple piercings now.
I fucking know, which is why you're not going to let him go through with it. But If you don't back off and let me handle this.
I'm sorry, did someone say something about Bernadette?
Nope.
Jean stands in the doorway.
Nope. I don't think so. Nobody said that.
Of course not. Nothing to worry about.
Okay, because I'm going into the press room right now, and if there's something I need to know.
You don't need to know anything, Jean.
Nothing to know. Everything's fine.
Pumping herself up, heading to the press room.
Okay, let's go. Fuck me.
Go get him! Woohoo! Yay!
You got this, knock him dead.
Oh, shut up.
Chris versus Jean. Chris sits at Jean's desk, hooked up to a breast pump.
Hi.
Leave.
And a cunty morning to you. What a time to be alive, isn't it?
God, that thing is loud. You can't pump in my office.
Where else am I going to do it in this hellish place?
Not my problem. Put them away. How did you get back here before me?
I know a shortcut from the press room. I thought you handled it very well in there.
You have food on your collar.
The twins just discovered projectile vomiting.
I have an extra shirt you can borrow.
As much as I love your Steve Jobs aesthetic,
Turtlenecks are universally flattering.
I'll stick with the vomit. How would you say your morning's going on a spectrum of cocky to cunty?
Do you have something for me, or are you just craving companionship since Greg left you?
Bahrain.
What about it?
It's a country.
I know.
Involved in the nuclear non-proliferation discussions?
I'm aware.
Occurring in 15 minutes.
Get there.
Bahrain is pissy about cunty.
How do you know?
I've got a buddy at HuffPo who covers the area. The prime minister is unsettled by the fact that the president would be so blatantly disrespectful to someone so close to him.
I don't think a government as cozy as Saudi Arabia as Bahrain's can really pass judgment on ours.
I don't think a government as cozy as Saudi Arabia as ours can really pass judgment on Bahrain.
We're in bed with their oil, not their gender politics.
Is that your official comment?
No.
Was it an emphasized cunty, or more of a casual throwaway cunty?
What do you want, Chris?
A comment.
You got my comment in the press room.
I want a better one.
I thought you said I handled it well.
Yeah, so handle it poorly for me and I'll make it anonymous.
Very cute.
Speaking of fucking adorable, can you please tell Luke to stop sharing his snacks with Kenny? We're trying to get him out of the habit of sharing food at school because of his canola allergy.
I'm not going to tell my kid to be less generous because your kid has trouble saying no. I'm raising a feminist.
Yeah, foisting his agenda onto someone who was too polite to refuse sounds super feminist.
Sharing is not foisting. Grapes are not an agenda, and you're not supposed to be here.
I'm a White House reporter.
Doing a fluff piece on the First Lady's excellence for time. Sounds like someone's being phased out. Who are they replacing you with? Young Harvey? Younger Nate? The giggly boy from Vulture?
Listen.
No, you listen. You are a newly divorced mother of 3 with vomit on your neck and tit juice on your shirt. These guys can out-tweet you, out-text you, chug a Red Bull, and work for 3 days straight. Is it fair? No. Am I sympathetic? Sure. But don't think that means I'm going to let you stir shit up just to save your job.
Honey, I don't need to stir shit up. We got a president throwing his feces at the wall.
There isn't a story in Washington funny enough to get you back in the game, Chris.
Is that a challenge?
That's a warning.
First lady still going to the gala tonight?
Why wouldn't she?
Might be feeling a bit cunty.
Don't use that language in my office, please.
Give it up, Jean.
Get off my dick, Chris.
Is that your comment?
Yes.
Lovely.
Stephanie versus Dusty. Stephanie power stances in the bathroom, earbuds in her ears, meekly singing along to an aggressive pop song from the Bitch Beats playlist. Dusty runs in and vomits. She clutches an oversized blue slushie.
Oh,
Frick, I'm so sorry.
are you okay?
Frick, I got it on my sleeve.
Is that a normal color to be coming out of a person?
It was buy one, get one half off for blue red slushies. There wasn't even a line.
Okay.
Slushies are the only thing I can eat right now. Everything else makes me totally sick. I was feeling great after the blushies. That's what I call the blue red slushies. And then I ate a baby carrot, and it all went to frick.
Do you need a doctor?
Oh my gosh, you're so cute to worry. But I'm fine. It's for a beautiful reason. I'm pregnant.
Wow, that is
Gross. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your dance practice.
I wasn't doing.
What you listening to? Oh my gosh, Bitch Beats. It's my favorite playlist. You know they have a karaoke version. I hate myself for loving you.
Are you an intern?
Oh my gosh, do I look like an intern?
Not at all.
I'm just visiting.
Are you important or are you lost? Did you get separated from a tour group? Sorry, it's just you're not allowed to be in the swing unless you have the proper clearance.
I thought that's what this was for.
Wait, how did you get that? Who are you?
I'm Dusty.
As in,
Dusty.
okay.
I'm here about the position.
What position?
The position.
Why are you winking?
I was told to be discreet.
So why are you winking?
Do you mind just like pointing me towards the president?
Point you towards the president?
I feel dumb. This is all new to me. I'm supposed to tell the lady that I'm here about the position.
Which lady? What lady? The first lady?
I can't remember her name, but she's like, I don't know, she's like real intense.
They're all intense here. Everyone's intense here.
Chris enters on the phone, breast milk leaking through her shirt.
Craig, I swear to God, if you don't cancel your date and pick up Kenny up from dance class tonight, I will feed your children nothing but prunes for the next 2 days leading up to your weekend with them, and they will blow ass on that new white leather couch you think makes your shitty studio look like a bachelor pad.
Unable to mop up the stain, she shoves some paper towels into her bra and exits.
Not her, but whoa.
Oh my God. Are you here for my position? Are they firing me?
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who you are.
They're replacing me with you. The girl who vomits blue?
Are you okay? You're rhyming.
How many languages do you speak?
I think just English.
Stephanie frantically hits a power stance and attempts a breathing technique. Dusty mirrors her.
If you arch your back more, your boobs will look bigger. I was captain of my school dance team.
She demonstrates a brief but aggressive moment of choreo.
I'm gonna be sick.
Blushy?
Harriet on the phone, pacing.
Leslie, of course you still want the president's endorsement. You're running for governor. Just because of a few FML guests.
Have threatened to boycott tonight's White House dinner.
Okay, but no one's going to notice if...
The notoriously outspoken musician is now expressing hesitation to perform at the White House.
Look, Jean's a pro. She's handling it. It's handled. They're already on to the next cycle.
Just as Jean runs in from the TV, when approached for comment, an anonymous White House source responded, quote, "Get off my dick."
I have to go. Get off my dick.
I'm gonna kill Chris.
I'm going to kill you.
I was joking. She knew that. We have a rapport.
I'm about to go into the non-proliferation meeting with 40 world leaders. I can't be dealing with this.
Just be aware Bahrain is pissy.
What do you mean by Rain's pissy?
About Cunty. He's pissy about Cunty.
So is everyone.
He thought it was disrespectful.
Oh, did he? Did he take a break from imprisoning journalists to issue that statement?
I'm just saying POTUS has to be extra careful in there.
I don't have time for this. The whole point of these talks is reducing nuclear weapons among global powers. Is Bahrain a global power?
Depends on your definition of...
No, the only reason Bahrain is even invited today is to look like we give a shit about tiny Arab countries.
Nice. I love the smell of imperialism in the morning.
Oh, shut up. Obviously, we personally care that tiny Arab countries exist. We just don't politically care if they're pissy.
Other countries might.
Jean, I had no idea your BA in marketing made you such a fucking expert on international diplomacy.
I'm talking about the optics, you trivial twat. Turns out nuclear war polls really badly with women. So if you want FML to actually land that voting block, POTUS has to appear for one day like a level-headed, peace-seeking.
Okay, well, he will. He's great in these meetings. He thrives in these meetings. He's great in these meetings.
You said great twice.
This is wheelhouse. The room is full of men talking about weapons and war, not a woman in sight.
You'll be there.
Of course I'll be there.
You're a woman.
I don't count.
Don't say that. I like your haircut. I don't think it's Spanish at all.
What?
Nothing.
Who said it was mannish?
No one. Nothing. POTUS. But what does he know?
Stephanie careens into the room.
Dusty girl, there's a dusty girl, Dusty in the bathroom.
Just rinse her off.
No, it's her name. Her name's Dusty, and she's throwing up, but she says she's here about a position.
Oh, God. She's not supposed to be here till 3:30.
So you do have a meeting with her. You are considering her?
Bring the girl to my office. Don't let anyone talk to her.
Who is she?
No one. Nothing. You don't have a situation to be containing right now?
If there's something you need to tell me.
How about get off my dick?
Okay, I'm going.
She exits.
Fuck, shit, balls. Fuck. Don't panic. Find
To Steph.
some-
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Find something for the president to sit on at dinner. Something that allows him to sit.
Like a chair.
No, not like a chair.
But maybe a chair with, like, a hole in it, or, like, maybe an inner tube. You know, one of those floaty...
I know what an inner tube is.
If we cover it with fabric.
Do I look like a sounding board to you, Stephanie?
No, ma'am.
Find the first lady, tell her I need her smiling next to POTUS at the Leslie Hopper endorsement. I don't care what you have to do to get her here, just get her there.
Oh, God.
Bring the girl to my office.
What do I do first?
All of them, Stephanie. I need all of them first. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. If there was ever a time for you to prove your worth, it is now. Do you understand?
Flinging herself into a power stance, about to weep.
Yes, ma'am.
This is your job. Are you good at your job?
I am good at my job.
You are a woman. Hear you roar.
Terrified and deeply inspired, Stephanie releases something half roar, half wail.
Don't actually yell, Stephanie. There's just meetings.
I'm sorry.
Why are you still standing here?
I just wanted to say how much I've loved working here and how much I appreciate all of your mentorship.
Go.
Stephanie flees. A room with two doors on opposite sides. The stage right door leads to a hallway. The stage left door leads to an adjoining office. A closet up center. A few valuable and unnecessary objects displayed around, including a delicate vase, an antique musket, and a heavy bust. Chris versus Margaret.
Well, there is no typical Chris. My daily work is determined by the ever-shifting needs of my 5 nonprofits, 2 children, of course, the one and only president.
Chris is holding the recording device out with one hand while holding her jacket closed over breast milk stains with the other. Her phone buzzes.
Sorry, my babysitter's.
No, if you need to take that.
No, please continue.
Okay. Well, the truth is, even before I was First Lady, I always wore multiple hats. Granted, I had 3 nonprofits back then, but after graduating from Stanford and then Harvard, I managed to keep busy enough with my law firm, my husband's campaigns, my talk show, my book, my other book, my cookbook, and my gallery and taekwondo.
Chris's phone buzzes. She twitches but doesn't look at it.
If you want to.
No, all the women we're interviewing for this series excel in their respective fields, but you have broken glass ceilings in so many different areas.
You are too kind.
Politically, culturally, philanthropically.
Joyful work.
Why aren't you president?
That's the eternal question, isn't it?
They laugh. They laugh gaily for a moment. Then fall into dismal silence.
Anyway.
Well,
how do you decompress after a long day?
Well, you're a mother, Chris. So you know there is nothing more relaxing than spending time with your family.
As her phone buzzes.
That's so relaxing.
But also, I hunt.
Hunt? As in,
my ladies' big game hunting club for ladies who love to hunt. You should join. Nothing helps you cast off a hard day like stalking your prey, listening for the slightest crack, sniffing for the faintest whiff of musky, gamey smell. And then once you have the beast in your crosshairs, feeling the force of the gun as you pull the trigger and squinting in hopes of seeing that splash of blood, that moment of animal shock as the bullet enters the creature, penetrates the flesh, snuffing out his small, mediocre life once and for all.
Wow, that is really
Earthy?
right.
Hmm.
You spent your 3 years in the White House focusing your energy on child hunger.
Yes. And when I think of the 10 million children living in poverty.
Totally. And since 71% of those kids are children of color, I was wondering if you had any plans to spend your last year in office
Before re-election.
using your position as a Black First Lady to push our president towards addressing systemic issues impacting the Black community and marginalized groups in general.
Well, Chris, perhaps you consider your Black readers a monolith? Yes?
That's not what I...
But I have spent a lifetime fighting for that kind of generalization, but by subverting stereotypes, rejecting identity politics, and being across the board unfucking paralleled.
Right. So was that a no on, say, Black maternal health, voting rights, abolition, reparations?
Sounds like you got your stump speech. Maybe you should run for president.
Yeah, I would if I wasn't still paying off the hospital bills for my C-section. Oh, speaking of cunty.
Stephanie careens into the room carrying a large inner tube.
Christ, Chris, hi, Chris. Good to see you. Sorry to interrupt. I was just, oh, this.
Stephanie?
This is a gift for the First Lady from the staff.
Stephanie.
Because everyone knows she loves inner tubing because of how earthy she is.
Stephanie, a word.
She drags Stephanie into the next room. Meanwhile, in the hallway, as Jean rushes past.
Wait.
Hey, hi.
Okay.
Hi. I know you. You're on TV.
Okay.
I'm a little confused.
Ask one of the other interns. I can't.
Could you just point to the president?
What?
I'm Dusty.
I can't help you with that.
No, I'm Dusty.
That's your name.
Yes.
Why is your mouth blue?
Blushes. I'm pregnant.
Who are you?
I'm Dusty.
You're meeting with Harriet.
Is she the intense one?
She's a walking Kegel.
Do you know when the president will be ready to see me? I know he's got a lot going on, but I'm only here till tomorrow night, and then I'm flying back to the farm.
The farm.
In Iowa.
You're a farmer from Iowa.
Well, my dad's a real farmer, but I can handle a hoe. The dream is to start my own regenerative ranch.
Hang on.
Can I show you the vision board?
You're the daughter of a farmer and you're meeting with Harriet, but you're here to see the president.
He sent a private jet.
And you're pregnant.
18 weeks, big as a bell pepper.
Are you by any chance into rough ass play?
I guess I am sometimes.
Holy fucking bullshit ass bucket pissing dick.
Now
Actually-
that takes me back.
Actually, I'm trying not to expose the baby to unkind sounds, so if you could just...
Cocksucking fuck me with a fucking flaming screwdriver.
Now that takes me back.
Jean whirls around. Bernadette's standing there in cargo shorts and a trench coat, an overstuffed duffel slung over one shoulder, an ankle monitor on her leg, and a lit cigarette in her hand.
Bernadette.
Hi, Jeannie, baby. How are you? What's happening? Fuck, what a dump. You gotta start hiring hotter interns. All your staff looks like sweaty beanie babies. You, coffee, 7 sugars, and a dash of triple sec.
Sorry, but would you mind putting out your cigarette? I'm pregnant.
And I'm constipated, and we all have our trials. Who's the prostitute?
I'm Dusty.
Whoa, what'd you do? Blow Smurf?
What's happening? How is this happening?
Well, I banged one of those blue man guys once, in my experimental phase. Stamina like a bull, but I was queefing cobalt for days.
You're in prison!
Was in prison.
Has anyone ever told you you look so much like the president?
Holy tits! He's screwing her, isn't he?
Actually, the president and I are in love. So more than just a fling,
Lower your voice. Oh my God. Keep it down. Shut up. How are you here?
My presidential pardon, baby!
For the last time, he's not going to pardon you.
Babe, he's basically already has pulled some strings with the warden and judges so I could get out today. And so long as he makes it official in the next 24 hours, they cut this ankle shit off, and then I am free, burning, howling at the moon, free. Give me a howl, prostitute.
Stop it. Stop howling. No howling in the White House.
She is so fun.
Yo, what are you looking at? I didn't say you could film me, bitch. I will cut the phone out of your hand.
They're fifth graders. They're on a field trip. Listen to me. I don't know what sibling bond bullshit you fed POTUS to guilt him into this one, but there is no way anyone here is letting him pardon international drug mule.
I prefer drug stallion.
You're not seeing him.
That's not up to you.
It's up to Harriet, which is why I know you're not seeing him.
She works for my brother.
Harriet works your brother. Harriet's the number one reason this country continues to function.
So why isn't she president?
It's the eternal question, isn't it?
The one with the man's haircut.
Don't.
This is a bitter fucking welcome, you know? You know how many favors I had to call just so I could see you on our anniversary?
Oh.
Anniversary, and the only reason you ever do anything is for you. And if you think I'm going to fall for your star-crossed lovers, Bonnie and Clyde bullshit.
Come on, Jane. Those were some wet nights on the campaign trail. Don't tell me you've forgotten.
I'm not saying I've forgotten.
Prison changed me. I'm looking for commitment and intimacy and a second chance at life and love. I mean, think of what this pardon could mean for us.
Us?
I missed you.
Did you?
You look great.
Do I?
Love the suit.
Do you?
Very Jackie O meets Carl Sagan.
Turtlenecks are universally flattering.
Let's get out of here.
Do it.
Okay. Yes. I mean, yes. No, that's it, Bernie. Go to my office. Wait, no, Dusty, you go to my, no, bad. Okay.
You seem stressed.
I think you're the intense one.
Give me your bag. Give me your...
Watch it. I've got breakables in here.
What are these?
What do you think? Tums.
Hold this. No.
Handing the container of Tums to Dusty.
Hold this.
Can I have one?
No.
No. For fuck's sake.
You're not going anywhere until I know you're clean.
I'm a new woman, Jean. Clean as a whistle, straight as an edge, so you can strip me down and turn me inside out. But all you're gonna find is pure, fine, fresh Bernie.
Jean reaches up Bernadette's shorts and pulls out a Ziploc bag of cash.
Where was that? I have so many questions.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Meanwhile, Margaret versus Stephanie. Stephanie clutches the inner tube.
I understand you're upset, ma'am, Margie, but this is not coming from me. It's coming from POTUS, or rather, Harriet, and I'm afraid it's non-negotiable. I hear you, but you are expected to accompany POTUS to the
This interview is about me, not my husband, not the presidency, me. And Harriet can gnash her teeth about my popularity all she wants, but I will not allow her to ruin this by sending some spineless, sweaty saltine of a human to.
You will accompany POTUS to the front lawn, and you will stand next to him and you will smile. Don't test me. I am good at my job.
Harriet enters.
What the hell is going on here?
Oh, thank
Crumpling to the
God.
ground.
Oh, thank God.
If you have things to say to me, Harry, you need to tell me directly. Don't send your Pomeranian to piddle on my shoe.
Don't worry, Marge. Those shoes will throw in the dishwasher and they'll be as good as new.
Contain your minion.
What did you do to her?
Nothing.
Stand up, Stephanie.
I can't.
Get up, Stephanie.
Not yet.
Now, Stephanie.
It's better down here.
Back in the interview room, Chris, alone, is trying to mop up breast milk stains while talking in hushed tones on the phone.
No, she just stepped out for a second, but I'm telling you,
The sound of Stephanie breaking down off stage.
there was some crazy shit going on here. No, don't send Nate. I'm saying I got this. Hang on. That's my babysitter. Don't send Nate.
She switches calls.
Hi, Lucy. If you go into the garage, there should be extra wipes in the box labeled emergency baby.
Harriet opens the door and pokes her head in. Stephanie is momentarily visible in the doorway behind her, curled in the fetal position on the floor, whimpering as Margaret stands over her, berating the girl.
Chris, hi. Will be another 5.
She slams the door in Chris's face.
I have to go. Figure it out.
Chris checks her watch, rips off her jacket, snatches up the breast pump, and scrambles to put it on. She manages to get her shirt off and pump partially on when Jean's voice becomes audible in the hallway. Chris frantically ducks into the closet with only her phone and breast pump, closing the door just as Jean enters, dragging Bernadette and Dusty.
Are you kidding? This is unbelievable. You get out of prison this morning and you are already selling drugs in my White House?
It's temporary. Just a little fast cash while I'm getting back on my feet.
We really need to put more resources into rehabilitation if we're ever going to tackle recidivism.
Don't you have a prostate to stimulate?
Well, if you could point me towards a president.
No.
Look, I wasn't even selling today. Just collecting some deals while I was in town.
Some deals.
Well, no drugs exchanged hands on these grounds. We have a system where
A system? Who the fuck is we?
I can't reveal the identity of my clients.
If you don't tell me right now, I'm going to shove this bag so far up your uterus.
Violent. This feels violent.
It's not even bad stuff, mostly pharmaceuticals that are already legal in other countries.
I want names.
Russia, parts of India.
Names of people you sell to.
I don't know. Marcus, Lance, Jack, Jake, Sheldon, Kyle.
That's half the cabinet. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to stab him in the taint.
Ma'am, I'm going to need you to take a deep breath.
Your name isn't an adjective. Don't tell me what to do.
The office door opens. Harriet, Margaret, and Stephanie stare at them from the doorway.
Jean?
Harry?
Bernie?
Marge?
You?
Dusty.
Oh my God, she broke out of prison to kill us all.
Like I'd waste a manicure snapping your leathery neck. I got a guy for that.
I should have known you were here by the smell of lies and yeast infection.
Yanking a large silver candlestick holder out of her duffel and advancing on Margaret.
Hey, I paid extra for non-chip nails, so let's go.
That's my candlestick holder.
Well, then you shouldn't have left it out on the table for anyone to take.
This is you containing the situation?
Do not lecture me.
Get out of my White House or I will tell your mother you're here.
I wouldn't voluntarily call that hag for anything. The only thing that she hates more than me is you.
You are chief of staff. Your job is to contain the situation. I'm the press secretary.
If you've stolen so much as a fork from the White House, Stephanie, check her bag.
Yes, ma'am.
Put a hand on me, kid. I will bite it off.
Yes, ma'am.
My job is to contain stories, and I can't contain stories if I don't know the situation. So perhaps you'd like to explain to me this situation.
She waves Dusty's arm in the air, the one still holding the bottle of Tums. Bernadette reaches for the container, but Jean intercepts and shoves the bottle into Stephanie's hands.
Put Dusty in my office, Stephanie.
Yes, ma'am.
Stay where you are, Stephanie.
Yes, ma'am.
You got some nerve greeting me like this, you know? I spent an hour on the phone with your son yesterday explaining why it's bad to use tanning lotion as lube.
Now, Stephanie.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't move, Stephanie.
Oh my God.
Stephanie frantically pops a couple Tums into her mouth.
Marley would never be so crude.
Why? Because he came from a classy percentage? Sorry to hear about your morning, Marge. I'm afraid I'm all out of cunty pills.
Dusty takes control of the situation, a rap with sexy choreography.
Hey there, friend. What do you say? You say you're having a real bad day? Let's sit down and chat a while. We'll find a way to make you smile. 'Cause conflict can be healthy. Conflict can be true. Conflict can bring me closer to you. So let's cogitate and articulate. Don't monologue, let's dialogue. But in order to grow, first we must listen. And in order to listen, first we must hush. First we must hush. First we must hush. That's great, guys.
Silence. They stare at her. Dusty nods encouragingly.
That's great, guys. Really good stuff.
I've dropped acid on Air Force One 3 separate occasions, but that was by far the most out-of-body experience I've ever had.
Her? Seriously?
What is this?
Seems like there's a lot of strong feelings in the room right now. But the good news is I'm a certified conflict resolution mediator, and I'm happy to provide my services.
I could be a mediator. I'll get certified. I'll do whatever you want.
Everyone is now looking at Stephanie except for Margaret, who continues to stare at Dusty.
What are you talking about?
You don't have to fire me. I'll take up space. I'll mediate when I'm taking up space.
Stephanie, what the fuck is going on with you?
Eyes fixed on Dusty with the cold, calm dawning of understanding.
Oh my God, you're the one into ass play, aren't you?
Why do people keep asking me that? Is it in my highlights?
She's into more than that. You don't get pregnant from ass play.
Pregnant?
Bernadette, for the love of...
I could be into ass play. If that's what you want, I could.
She
Wait.
frantically chews a few more Tums.
Wait, no.
Oh shit.
How many of those have you had?
6.
Oh shit.
Don't say, oh shit, they're Tums, Bernie. Tell me they're Tums.
Look, everyone responds differently. She may not even feel them.
You what?
If you think you can show up here unannounced and blackmail the president?
Feel what?
No, POTUS invited me. I'm here to celebrate our little president-to-be.
Nope. That's it. I'm out. Bernie?
Bernadette tosses her the Tums. Margaret dry swallows too and lies down on the floor.
Are you kidding me?
Relax. Those things are like vitamins to her by now.
Are my feet on the ground?
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
When I sent him a pic of the ultrasound, he texted me that I should come in to celebrate.
Nope, that was me.
What? No, because then I also sent him my favorite real Capone and a picture of my nipples.
And they were great. The thing is, POTUS is really busy. He's actually going into a meeting about bombs and 7 minutes ago. Fuck me. So he's talking to world leaders about bombs right now, sweetie. And I'm actually supposed to be in there with him. So you and I are just going to have a quick little chat. And
Here, you're doing this in the White House?
where else am I going to do it? In a back alley? You don't think that might make her a bit suspicious?
Have you talked to the girl? You could tell her to meet you at an abortion clinic and she wouldn't be suspicious.
I I volunteer at a clinic back in Iowa. Affordable, safe, reproductive health care is a basic human right.
Where's the ground?
Okay, honey, here's the thing. As much fun as I'm sure you are and you and the president had together,
We're in love.
Margaret cackles bitterly from the floor.
the thing is, this pregnancy is not um happening.
It is. I have a copy of the ultrasound right here.
Oh, I'll take that.
She passes the picture to Jean, who immediately rips it up.
So there are a few options, or really just two options. There's adoption, which is great. Jean's kid is adopted.
Please don't bring me in.
See, your baby could have a mom like Jean. Isn't Jean great?
The violent one with no neck.
Turtlenecks are universally.
Shut the fuck up. No, so adoption's one option, and obviously we would handle all the logistics there. And the other option is
And the other
it's not
option
doing it
is
at all.
having it.
I feel like we're not quite understanding each other here.
She means snip, snip, flush.
Jesus Christ.
I'm on a clock here. I've got a pardon to get.
See, the way it works is we give you money and exchange. The pregnancy it goes away.
Thank you, but I don't need money. Our farm's the #1 flax farm in Iowa.
There is no ground. Why is there no ground?
Honey. We're talking about the President of the United States, right? The married president.
Margaret cackles bitterly.
Do you see the problem? Do you see how this could make for some icky headlines?
Yes, I do see why a few people might be mad about the president having a baby with someone other than his wife.
Good. See? I'm glad you see that.
But I kind of think more people would be even madder if they found out you tried to bribe the president's girlfriend into having an abortion against her will. Don't you think?
From the closet, the loud rhythmic hum of a breast pump, a confused moment where they are all try to locate the source.
The walls are breathing!
Harriet crosses to the door and yanks it open. Chris, huddled in the closet, topless but for the breast pump, holding her phone up to record everything. A moment of frozen shock as the Tums hit Stephanie with full force.
Get her.
Devil boobs!
And she drops to the floor. Chris seizes the opportunity to make a run for it.
Get her.
Pandemonium ensues. It's a wild and epic chase with much leaping and tackling and tripping over Stephanie's limp body.
Don't let her leave.
Bernadette dives in front of the door to the hallway. Margaret runs at Chris, screaming, a chair held aloft. Chris grabs the vase and throws it at Margaret. Dusty snatches it out of the air just in time.
This is 12th century Japan, you uncultured cow.
Chris seizes the bust and, with great effort, raises it over her head.
No.
Give me my phone and get out of my way, or I will break this head into a million pieces.
That is notable suffragist Alice Paul.
I will break her ugly face.
Break whatever you want. You're not getting your phone.
From the floor, Stephanie rouses slightly, hazily singing the Bitch Beat song.
1,
No.
2,
Wait.
3.
Jean throws Chris's phone to the floor, smashing it. Chris hurls the bust across the room just as the office door opens. Margaret and Harriet duck. Bernadette pulls Jean down. Dusty covers Stephanie. The bus sails through the doorway. Off stage, there is the thunk of the bus colliding with an unseen person's head, then the thud of a body hitting the floor. Silence.
Mr. President?
Blackout. Intermission.
Awesome. Guys, do we need to take a pee break real quick? Since it's intermission, or do we want to wait a little bit longer? You're good? All right, let's do it.
Okay. Act 2. 30 seconds later, each woman exactly where she was, frozen in shock, staring through the open door into the office at the body on the ground. The office and the body within it are never visible, but anyone who passes through that door turns sideways so as not to step on the body. A moment then. She runs towards the body. Harriet tackles her, pinning her to the ground, trying to smother her wailing.
Oh, hell no.
Oh my God.
Oh, he's dead.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Bernadette has pulled rubber gloves and maxi pads out of her bag.
What are you doing?
I'm wiping down the fingerprints, and then you and me are skipping town and we're going to Magnolia.
Mongolia?
Mongolia, I got a guy.
You killed him.
Be quiet.
Harriet slaps Dusty.
Harriet!
Dusty decks Harriet.
Oh my God.
Damn, she's got an arm.
I'm gonna go away for life. They're gonna send me to Guantanamo. They'll give the kids to Greg, and then one of his girlfriends will put them up for adoption.
You and your mean friends killed my love.
Aggressively wrestling Dusty.
Help me, somebody fucking help me.
Don't hurt her. We can't kill another.
We were gonna go flex together.
Bernadette snatches the cardigan off Stephanie's limp body. Stephanie stirs and starts sleepily pulling off her shirt as well. Bernadette shoves the cardigan into Dusty's mouth, tying it around her head, silencing her. Dusty continues struggling toward the body, dragging Harriet along.
Stop. Ow. Does it look like we have this under control, Jean?
Jean seizes Stephanie and pulls off her pants. Stephanie finds this delightful.
Naked time. Naked time.
Jean uses Stephanie's pants to tie Dusty's legs together.
I'm sorry, but we can't let you go until you stop chatting.
You have to shut up or we'll all be finished. Do you understand me?
Throughout this whole thing, Margaret has not moved, except perhaps to shift her gaze from the body in the office to the chaos around her. Now she crosses to Dusty and grabs the girl by the shoulders, bringing them nose to nose.
Enough. You say you loved him, yes? And he loved you? When did he love you? When you were weak and weepy on your back? Girly and soft? No. He loved you when you were on Amazon, a beast, an evil stepmother shoving a tennis racket up his ass. So for the man who loved the country he led and the child he gave you, pull yourself together.
Dusty is silent and still. Margaret releases her.
Bernie, untie her. Chris, stand up. Jean, go out the office door. Tell the Secret Service that the president is going to be a bit.
A bit? He's gonna be more than a bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have a better idea? Okay. Is this all a part of some master plan? Because here I thought your contribution ended at death by discus.
Stephanie puts the inner tube on like a tutu and becomes a ballerina.
She's right, Jean. Go.
Why me?
You lie for a living.
I look at the bright side for a living.
Well, right now you're gonna lie.
This isn't gonna work.
Leslie, hi. Okay, so in light of the concerns you expressed this morning, we've decided that the optics will be better if I do your endorsement and we push it back an hour.
Now, Jean, before we go down in history next to Booth and Oswald.
Wonderful, Leslie. We'll be in touch.
What do I tell them?
Just buy us some time. Say anything. Say Margaret's giving him a blowjob.
They will never believe that.
Who's out there?
2 Secret Service agents, Kevin and
Kevin's a client.
Good. You go. Tell him FLOTUS and POTUS are doing something weird. Say it's nasty and he doesn't want to go in there.
Tell him it's the mango thing. Kevin's walked in on that one before.
He loved the mango thing.
If it doesn't work, give the guys drugs, give him money, give them a blowjob.
This is insane.
Wait, who's the other one? Is it Danny?
Who cares?
Danny and I have bad blood.
Bad blood?
He thinks I sold him some bad stuff and overcharged for it.
Did you?
Well, the lines are blurry.
You can't even deal drugs, honestly. See, this is why you and I will never work.
Hey, I'm trying to go legit and save up for a tattoo parlor, but it's a tough economy right now because someone keeps not delivering on his tax plan.
That is Congress. It is not our fault.
I'll do it. I'll blow Kevin and Danny. For POTUS, I'll blow them both.
Atta girl.
They high-five, grim.
We're talking about the Secret Service here. They're not going to be sucked in by some kid trying to suck them off.
You like the last idealistic journalist in Washington?
This is a matter of national security. We need to notify the vice president right now.
Are you out of your mind?
You've got to be joking.
That man is as useful in a crisis as a turnip.
Someone else then. We need a plan, okay? Dusty can deep throat her way through the White House, but that won't change the fact that we murdered the president.
You mean you murdered the president?
Chris snaps with the rousing fury of a mother unleashed.
Don't you dare. If he was doing his job, he would come across the White House right now making peace treaties. Why was he even here? He should not be walking in this room. He should not be living in the house. He should be running this nation, and you know it. He's the pyromaniac, but you gave him kindling. You gave him matches. You figured he'd burn his fingers and learn his lesson. Well, he didn't, and now the whole fucking world is on fire. So we will douse those flames, or we will burn them together. But don't think for 1 second I'm marching in that stake by myself.
Holy frick. Why isn't she president?
Go blow the Secret Service, kid.
How long do you need?
How long can you buy us?
Oh, 15 minutes each, plus flirting and soothing. I'd say 40 minutes total.
Make it 45.
I'll ask him about their favorite video games.
Dusty does a military salute and exits, head high, doing some vocal warm-ups.
What is our plan?
I have a plan. I'm getting out of here. Jeannie, let's go.
I have a kid.
We can ship him.
Ship him how?
I got a guy.
You're not going anywhere.
You're gonna stop me, Marge?
Margaret pulls the musket off the wall and aims it at Bernadette.
Yes.
That thing's not loaded.
Yes, it is.
Why do you have a loaded gun in here?
For when my husband's evil sister breaks out of prison.
I got a presidential pardon!
Not yet, you don't. And now that he's dead, you never will, unless you help us come out with a plan and deal with his body.
And then what? He comes back to life and pardons me then?
You get us through today, I will sign that pardon for him. I forge his signature all the time.
Not on official documents.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that the ethical line we've decided not to cross today? She's probably the only one here who knows what to do with the body, right? I bet you even got a guy specifically for bodies, right?
Carly's good at what he does.
Exactly. You help us out. Within 24 hours, we all walk free. Tell us what to do.
Suicide. We make it look like he killed himself.
Right, because people smash their skulls against marble suffragettes all the time.
If we stage it right, we can make it look like he overdosed, passed out, and hit his head on the way down.
Why would he commit suicide in my office?
Your personality, your voice, your decor.
He's right. We have to move him and clean up any evidence of
Blood.
Stephanie has dipped her hands in the puddle of blood oozing in the doorway and is joyfully smearing it on her face and body.
Oh my God.
Blood.
No, Stephanie, honey, look at me.
Blood paint, blood paint, blood paint.
I know you feel weird right now, but you need to hold it together, okay? Stephanie, you are the presidential secretary, remember?
I am woman!
Yes, you are. And
Space! My space!
Stephanie starts smearing blood across the walls.
No. Not my... Grab her.
Stephanie zeroes in on Margaret.
You are not nice to me.
Stephanie, I think this is a great opportunity to calmly express.
You die now.
She charges at Margaret.
Help! I can't run in Crocs. I cannot run in Crocs.
How long is she going to be like this?
I don't know. She's got the tolerance of a hamster. But she seems to be getting through all the normal stages.
What are the normal stages?
Oh, visions, belligerence, mania, unquenchable sex thirst, and vomiting.
Chris dangles keys, trying to distract Stephanie.
Look, honey, keys. Ooh, keys,
Ste-
keys.
Stephanie finds the keys threatening. She growls and lunges for Chris.
Nope, doesn't like keys.
I think it's pretty firm. I think we're pretty firmly in belligerence.
The door. She's heading for the door.
Dusty re-enters from the hall, hitting Stephanie hard in the face with the door. Dusty vomits blue.
My carpet.
Gross. Sorry. I'm normally fine with swallowing, but this pregnancy has thrown me all off.
You said 45 minutes.
They were so excited, but it's okay. I left them asleep in the closet. They look so cute together. You didn't tell me they were twins.
Twins? They're not.
It's amazing that they can protect the president, even though one of them is blind and one of them is missing an arm.
Oh my God, the vets. She blew the veterans.
Oh, that makes more sense.
What a surprise that the blowjob backfired. I thought that plan seemed airtight.
Hey, we all serve in different ways, and if I can provide any relief to those brave men, I consider that a win.
Wait, what's happening? I can't hear the TV.
President reportedly stormed out of the nuclear non-proliferation discussions after a fiery exchange with the Prime Minister of Bahrain.
No, 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 no.
Sources within the White House say the president refused to sit for the duration of the negotiations, which the Prime Minister and several other world leaders interpreted as, quote, an aggressive power move.
You fucker!
Harriet lunges at the president's body. Everyone rushes to restrain her. The White House has yet to release an official statement, but the Prime Minister says there will be, quote, regretful consequences.
After everything I did to get you here!
Stop it. Shut up. They'll hear you.
I'm gonna follow you to hell!
Get the sweater. Gag her.
Dusty, hit her again.
I don't want to hurt her. I don't know my own strength.
Jean slaps Harriet. Harriet crumples.
Sorry. Oh my God. Are you okay? Harriet?
All fight gone, limp with despair.
I'm never gonna have a shot in 5 years. Not even for vice president.
Hey, no, don't say that.
I thought my haircut made me look presidential.
It does. You look just like Reagan.
No! Trickle down economics are the worst!
Hey, stop it. Listen to me. We can still contain this.
It's too much.
No, it's not.
I'm too tired.
No, you're not.
Just let me go to prison, Jean. Maybe it's not so bad. You could teach me how to be a lesbian.
That's not how lesbians work, and no one's going to prison. This is what we're going to do. Margaret takes the endorsement, tweak the speech to make it your own, stretch it as long as you can, look happy, look easy, look
Earthy.
While she's got the press, we move the body. The vets are conked out with their cocks out so we can cross them off the schedule. Thank you, Dusty.
They're the real heroes.
Okay, Chris, you know how to get blood and vomit out of upholstery?
I do it after every play date.
Stay visible. Don't talk to each other. Go about your days. And then tonight, right when he's supposed to be on stage for his FML speech, POTUS will be found across the White House with 3 horse tranquilizers up his butt and a suicide note in his hand.
That could work.
It's brilliant.
I've never been more attracted to you in my life.
What do you say, Harry?
We got Bahrain, we got cabinet members on drugs, we got 200 feminists coming to dinner pissed about Cunty. That shit won't go away just because he's dead.
But it will. Think about it. You can't go after a guy who just killed himself. You can't criticize the country in mourning. That would be distasteful.
But
he was unwell. He can't be held responsible for his words or his actions. He can't be held to etiquette or facts. He was sad.
But
This is what you do, Harry. You stand in for him every single day. You've done it for years. You clean up his messes. You make excuses. You do his job, and then you wake up and do it all over again. But what if today were different? What if this is the last mess of his you ever have to clean? What if it's all finally over?
Stephanie stands in the stage right doorway.
Bye-bye.
The women versus the world. Stephanie careens through the White House.
It's all mine.
what do you mean? Why would Norway involve itself? Because it's what allies do, Hilda. You back us in exchange. We give you things that Norway needs, like peanut butter and genetic diversity. Oh, Nice, Hilda. Is that you eating? Do you eat your herring with that mouth?
Do I
Jean
seem
faces the
worried?
press.
Do I seem worried? No, Eric. Please don't speak until I call on you. If I don't seem worried, then I must not be worried. No, like I said, the talks did not stall. They just broke for lunch. Well, maybe the Saudi minister wanted to go home for lunch. Eric, do you think about that? No, I don't see your hand. Look, if POTUS were worried, then I would be worried. But we've established I'm not worried. So by that logic, hand, Eric.
Margaret and Harriet on the move. Margaret practices the endorsement, and Harriet scribbles revisions to the speech while talking on the phone.
Leslie Harper is not only a dear friend, but a fellow activist who has dedicated her life to serving that glorious state of our president.
Husband. Absolutely, Javier. And you can tell you can tell the ambassador that nobody is undermining these negotiations, least of all my husband.
My husband hails from
President.
You have the handwriting of a drunk baby.
When I say husband, I mean president, because what is the president if not America's husband, right?
Across the White House, Bernadette and Chris hurry down the hall, peering into rooms. Chris holds her dripping breasts, trying to stop them from bouncing as she runs.
Oh, shut up. Shut up.
She couldn't have gone far. What's in there?
Just dudes in suits.
Chris peers into a room, then jumps back from the door, grabbing Bernadette.
Shit, he said Nate.
Who's Nate?
A snot-faced preteen who thinks he's a journalist. Damn it, I told Alan I had this story locked down.
You told your boss you had a big story? Are you crazy?
I didn't know. That was this morning, back when skies were still blue and grass was still green, and my big scoop was cunty.
Harriet is moving dead POTUS across the White House right now, and you literally invited a journalist?
I didn't invite him. If I had it my way, that preppy little wasp would be stung up by his... Nate, hi. Oh, were you in there? I didn't see you. How funny. I was just looking for,
She remembers her breast milk stains.
Bathroom. Yeah, clearly having a bit of frazzles. What? Oh, yes. Sorry. This is,
Chanterelle.
Chanterelle. My babysitter.
Girlfriend.
Former babysitter, current girlfriend. Hey, in this post-feminist world, women can run off in with the nanny too. Yeah.
Post it, post it, post it, post it, post it, post it.
Stephanie is backing down the hall, sticking post-it notes on every surface. A few notes stuck to her forehead. She sees them, freezes, tries to make a run for it. Bernadette nabs Stephanie by the inner tube and drags her, struggling back to Chris.
And this is Stephanie. She's our housekeeper.
Slave.
No.
Sex slave.
Consensual. Voluntary. Loves it. We all do. Anyway, Nate, I got everything handled here. So why don't you go back to the office and pardon? No, Alan must have misunderstood me when I said big story. I meant profile on the first lady going to be big. That woman behind the Botox, that sort of thing. No, you don't need to. I'm saying there's nothing here. What do you mean? Perhaps I'm not the best judge of that.
Babe, why don't we?
You know what, Nate? Fuck you. Because there is a story, a big, fat, juicy story.
Darling?
A behemoth of a story that I dug up that's mine, that will be printed with my name on it. And if you try to take it from me, I will stab you in the throat with that hipster fucking fountain pen you love so much.
Oh, shit.
What do you mean? Does Greg know about all this? Is that supposed to be some kind of threat?
I think it is.
Like if I don't give you my story, you're going to tell my ex-husband I'm gay now? Is that it?
Get it, girl.
You know what? Go ahead. Please do. Tell him after 9 years of blowing his crooked little cop, I'm finally getting mine from my girlfriend Chanterelle and our live-in sex slave.
Yes, bitch!
I'm getting eaten out for days, motherfucker.
For days!
My pussy is queen.
She'd be royalty. Call her your majesty.
You better run. That was amazing.
Fire! You were on fire.
I feel so alive. I feel so alive. Let's go.
You would dominate in prison.
Really? You think so?
Stephanie bites Bernadette, attempting to escape.
Ow! Cool it, bitch.
Yeah, bitch. Oh, I'm so sorry. I actually really don't like calling other women that.
Wait, who's coming?
The closet. Get her in the.
They try to shove Stephanie into the closet. She resists. They both have to hold the door shut.
This looks suspicious.
Here, just.
Chris grabs Bernadette and kisses her, just as Jean comes around the corner.
The fuck?
Shit,
I'm sorry, should I leave?
Of course not. We need your help.
Babe, we were just covering. We didn't know who was coming, and we needed to act like.
No, it's fine. I'm just surprised, Bernie. I didn't realize you preferred your pussy postpartum these days.
Hey!
Take it easy. Chris didn't do anything wrong.
Sure. Why would anyone take responsibility for anything when Jean will take responsibility for everything, right? That's the way it's always been.
What is her problem?
You really want to get into this now? Look, I know when we were hooking up, I gave you some mixed messages.
Oh.
You got stoned at my dad's funeral, asked me to marry you, and then screwed the caterer?
Guys.
Stephanie has slipped from the closet and is running gleefully down the hall. Meanwhile, Harriet and Dusty next to the FML box amidst a pile of FML t-shirts. They've gotten the president into a box. They've gotten the president into the box and mostly concealed him with t-shirts, but his feet are still visible. Both are bloody and disheveled from moving the body.
Hall's clear.
Wait, put this on.
She tosses Dusty a t-shirt and puts one on herself.
Oh my God, these are hilarious. We gotta take a selfie. Wait, let's get the box behind us.
What? Are you crazy? Give me that phone.
But FML, like FML.
The Female Models of Leadership Council.
Oh, wow. I thought you were in your 60s, but you're older, aren't you?
I'm not at 60.
Really? Your skin might age better if you stop eating gluten.
And the world might be better if you stop eating the president's butthole, but we can't have everything, can we? Lift on 3. 1, 2.
On the front lawn, Margaret addresses the press.
Which is why it is with great pride and joy that the president and I endorse Leslie Harper as the next governor of.
Margaret freezes as Stephanie appears behind the crowd, underwear, inner tube, covered in blood and post-it notes.
But while I have you all looking at me, your attention, eyes here, eyes front. While I have your attention, I would like to take this moment to address.
Stephanie scurries across the space and exits. Chris, Bernadette, and Jean appear, breathless from pursuit, looking frantically for Stephanie.
That way, that singular way, that America must lead the charge in.
Stephanie appears again. She tiptoes towards Chris, Bernadette, and Jean, who are looking in the opposite direction. Margaret tries to get their attention.
Turn around. The search for Christ.
Stephanie has tapped Jean on the shoulder and tried to run away. Chris, Jean, and Bernadette all dive on top of her in a dog pile. There's a struggle.
So in summation, America has lost its way when it comes to our backwards views on God, Jesus, and God. Where is America on that subject? I asked. Lost. That's where, and I think a good thing to do would be to take this time to grab her hair, grab hands, clasp hands, and pray. Let's pray with our eyes closed. That's good. Everyone, close your eyes.
As Bernadette, Chris, and Jean drag Stephanie bodily off.
And let us pray.
The world becomes louder, faster, angrier. Overlapping sound bites boom from the heavens with an increasingly godlike quality. The women scramble to keep up, hurrying down the halls, popping out of doors, appearing out of nowhere, and then disappearing just as abruptly. Throughout the following, Harriet laboriously drags the FML box across the White House. Perhaps a foot occasionally pokes out and Harriet hurries to push it down. A chaotic day at the White House.
Base.
She's a performance artist.
More drama at the White House.
One of those Make-A-Wish kids.
Confusion at the White House.
Are you Kevin or Danny?
Guests announcing they will not be attending.
No comment.
President has yet to comment. Oh, shit.
All right. Are you sure?
President has yet to comment.
I feel like you guys might be lying to me.
First Lady tells nation to close eyes and pray.
A gross misinterpretation of her speech, which was, at its core, a
heavily Christian message.
Trust me, no one's more godless than Margaret.
Well, Jesus was Jewish.
Trending with evangelicals.
That's it. No one's getting blown till I see some ID.
Germany uncomfortable. Israel pulls out. Will the president be responding? Is there a response? What game is he playing? Who is running this country?
Me.
Are we all going to die?
No comment.
Harriet and Jean in the bathroom with the FML box. One of POTUS's legs is dangling over the side of the box.
France is out.
out. What do you mean, out?
They're out. They're refusing to resume talks, and if France is out, then Britain's out, and if Britain's out, then China's out, and if China's out...
But why is France out?
Because Bahrain's out.
Because of Cunty?
Because of Thailand.
Thailand's pissed at Bahrain because of Cunty.
Thailand's pissed at POTUS because he was cunty to Bahrain.
But he wasn't Cunty. He just couldn't sit down because of the thing on his...
I know, Gene, but we can't tell the world about the thing on his...
It's better than the world thinking he was a cunt to Bahrain.
Everyone's a cunt to Bahrain. Nobody cares about Bahrain.
Except Thailand.
Nobody cares about Thailand.
Except France.
France doesn't care. They're just looking for an excuse to humiliate us ever since that shit with Syria.
Shit with Syria. God damn it, Harriet. You promised me good optics on these talks. 3 of the performers I booked for tonight have canceled. The poet laureate just posted a haiku entitled FML.
Haikus are nice.
This one wasn't.
It's not my fault. How could I know that every country and their mother would be itching for an excuse to make us look like an incapable warmongering idiots?
How could you know? POTUS has spent 3 years burning every bridge, insulting every ally, finger banging every diplomat's wife around the world. I mean, hey, it's almost as if America doesn't have an endless line of moral credit. I mean, who'd have thunk there was a limit on how much ethical currency a country could just throw away before every other nation finally claps back? You broke, bitch.
Margaret runs in dressed for the gala in a gown and her Crocs.
There, you are.
Where have you been?
I didn't know where you were. We said we'd meet at the residence.
I texted you with POTUS in the bathroom.
You texted me with potty and butt room.
My phone is exploding right now. What am I telling the press?
You want to switch jobs, Gene? How about I come up with a soundbite and you can stick with the suppositories at the dead president's asshole?
I got New York Times asking if we're going to war.
Guests are already starting to arrive for the gala. We need to get him to the residence and those tranks up his ass right now.
Too many people are looking for him. Senator Cobb caught me in the hallway, and the only way I could get rid of him is by saying I had diarrhea. We need to do this now. Where is Bernadette?
They can't find his body in the woman's bathroom?
Harriet starts pulling POTUS's leg, but the rest of him doesn't budge.
Why not? Oh, maybe, okay. Maybe he took the drugs, thinking he would have enough time before they hit to do one final speech, one final night of service. But then, just before going on, he started to feel sick, ran to the nearest bathroom to throw up, hit his head on the toilet edge, and poof, died alone in a pool of his own vomit.
Dusty enters, carrying 2 garment bags. Harriet and Jean dive in onto the body, and Margaret pulls a gun from under her skirt.
Occupied!
She's pooping!
Don't shoot! I'm carrying the president's baby!
Shut up! Close the door. Why do you have a gun on you?
I always have a gun on me.
Are we at war? Because the internet feels like extra worry right now.
I'm working on it.
I got POTUS's tux, but I couldn't find your gala outfit. All I found was this weird man suit.
That is my gala outfit. That's a woman's dress tux.
Christ. It's like if Elton John did Civil War reenactments.
You are literally wearing the footwear of a hospice worker.
They're earthy.
I could shove those Crocs down your throat and bury your corpse in compost heap, and you'd still wouldn't be earthy.
Korea's tweeting.
Which Korea?
The scary one that tweets.
Give it to me.
It's just a stupid joke mocking POTUS for the talks falling apart, so long as nobody responds.
Kyle just responded. Kyle just responded.
Kyle who?
Cabinet member Kyle.
Why would Kyle respond to North Korea?
Because he's hyped on the roid your girlfriend sold him.
Pick up your phone, Kyle. Pick up your...
Wait, I got him.
How?
I found him on Hinge.
What's a hinge?
Oh, very sad.
Oh, girl.
Okay, he's deleting it. But if you want to be extra careful, I could just hack his account and freeze all his socials.
You hack?
Chris, Bernadette, and Stephanie crash into the bathroom. Stephanie has stolen a full-sized American flag, ripped a hole in it, and is wearing it like a strange poncho. Chris is struggling to talk on the phone, gripping Stephanie with her free hand. Harriet and Jean dive onto the body, and Margaret draws her gun.
Diarrhea!
We're shitting!
Bernadette responds instantly to the sight of a gun, drawing her own gun and a blowtorch.
You want to finish this now, Marge? Let's go.
Calm down. I didn't know it was you.
Likely story.
Why do you have a blowtorch?
I always have a blowtorch.
Weapons down, both of you.
I'll lower.
I'll lower.
Give me that. Now.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands.
She's been shouting the Declaration of Independence on a loop in 5 different languages since we pulled out of the pastry kitchen.
It's been hours. How is she still manic?
So, did he ice it or?
The phones! Who are you talking to?
The dance school called because your monster truck of a child getted into my kid and knocked him down.
A warm breeze would knock your kid down. He's like an anemic leaf.
La vie, la liberté, et la pourcent du bonheur.
I agree, Miss Belsky. Aggression is learned in the home.
Didn't we smash her phone?
Give it to me.
It's my backup. I got 2 of everything in my bag.
Why?
I'm a mom.
She's a mom.
La vida, la libertad y la búsqueda de la felicidad.
Enough!
Dusty snaps a hot selfie.
Really?
Sorry, Kyle wanted to pick.
I do not have time for this. FML guests are already starting to arrive. We have to do this now. We have to get the trinks in him and make it look like he hit his head on the toilet's edge.
And then what?
We head to the gala and stick to the plan.
We can't just leave the body. What if something happens to it?
What's he gonna do? Stand up and walk out?
The president's other leg swings of its own accord over the side of the box. Everyone screams. Backstage at the FML gala. Offstage, the den of guests. Harriet is on the phone.
They patched up his head. They cleaned him up. They're putting him in a tux, but he's not waking up.
What do you mean he's not waking up? I spent 3 months writing the speech that he's supposed to be delivering right now.
I'm sure he'll be up in a sec. He seems totally fine. We propped him up in the wing on the other side of the stage. I think he's just a sweepy weepy little president who needs a nap.
Does he? Is the sweepy widow president of EDB tie from being the abomination of diplomacy? God damn it. I just wanted one night. One night where we could feel like the president of the United States cared about our rights.
You should give a speech.
Margaret enters.
Where is he? The feminists are getting restless.
He's not up yet. Stall them.
You wrote the speech. You should deliver it.
She's right. You know it better than he does.
But even if I did, we'd still need POTUS to be there. Otherwise, they'd think his absence was a statement.
Okay, but maybe we don't need the president. Maybe we just need someone who...
Bernadette runs in wearing a tux.
Yo, how sexy is this? Traded some crack with one of the waiters for this tux.
Someone who looks just like him.
Brilliant.
Absolutely not.
We put some glasses on her, slick back her hair from the stage, no one will be able to tell.
Of course they'll be able to tell.
I haven't been crowned Kansas City Drag King Emperor for 3 years in a row for nothing. I got this.
I'll stall the crowd while you get ready.
How are you going to stall the...
Dusty hands Margaret her phone.
Bitch Beats playlist, karaoke version. I want the bass loud and the lights hot. Plug her in, Marge.
She ties up her FML shirt into something cuter and takes the stage. Off stage, she could be heard riling up the crowd.
Hello, DC. We got some angry bitches in the house tonight.
This isn't going to work. This woman is not capable of even pretending to be anything other than exactly what she is. An irresponsible, selfish...
It changed, Harry. Wait in the other wing, Bernie. I'll signal when we're ready.
Margaret exits.
Where my Iowa girls at? Who loves a big caucus?
Bernadette has whipped out some bolt cutters and goes to clip her ankle monitor.
What are you doing?
Last I checked, POTUS doesn't have an ankle monitor.
If you take that off before your pardon, you go straight back to prison.
Well, yeah, well, in pubis tsunami, you know?
E pluribus unum, you idiot. Wait.
Bernadette cuts through the monitor.
No, you can't go back there. You can't leave me again.
I knew you missed me. I'm not going anywhere. I got a guy.
They kiss.
You chickies ready to party?
BRB. I gotta save democracy.
She struts out. Jean stares breathlessly after her, utterly wooed. Chris enters, pulling Stephanie, who is still wearing the American flag, and inner tube.
Harriet, I need to...
Not now, Mr. Prime Minister. If you can just let the translator catch up.
I need to talk to you.
Chris, unless you suddenly speak Arabic and can negotiate Bahrain back to the table.
Me!
Stephanie grabs the phone from Harriet.
Antek masulahat.
No, no, no.
Laki bibi. Bea kizibaba.
What's she saying?
Kifina nelgia al oso.
Do you know what she is saying?
Stephanie chuckles, nodding.
Yela. Bashkufa.
A triumphant Stephanie holds the phone out, and Harriet snatches it from her.
Sir? Oh, well, good. Tell the Prime Minister I'm glad he feels that way.
Over the opening bars of a Bitch Beach song, Stephanie licks Harriet's cheek.
You're welcome.
The bass drops as she takes the stage. On stage, the crowd roars as Stephanie joins Dusty and they launch into a riotous performance. It is aggressive and patriotic in all the wrong ways, full of gyration, impressive vocal riffs, and general obscenity. They are a formidable pair. Stephanie fully in euphoria, swinging her inner tube around, screaming the Declaration of Independence over Dusty's chorus. The crowd goes wild. The song ends to thunderous applause. Off stage, Harriet, alone, watches from the wings, now dressed in her woman's tux. FML guests are chanting, "One more song! One more song!" Dusty and Stephanie run off stage.
They love me.
Stephanie runs back on stage.
We'll take our bows and then we'll introduce you, okay?
Oh, God.
Don't be nervous. This is your time.
I'm sorry I was harsh with you, Dusty. You are an extraordinary woman.
Oh, I think you're so brilliant. POTUS is making a huge mistake replacing you with Andrew.
What?
Firing you. I think it's a big mistake.
Firing me?
Some people were saying you're the real brains in the White House. POTUS felt like the only way to prove that's not true was to fire you.
She runs back on stage. Harriet stares after her, stunned, broken. She becomes aware of Margaret's gun in her hand. A murderous calm settles over her. Jean storms in, followed by Chris.
You're not running it. We will make your life hell.
You think I'm going to be scared off by some libel lawsuits?
What are you going to write, huh? That you thought you killed the president with a stone suffragist? You don't have a story.
Oh, really? How about the president who would rather risk war than admit his butt hurts? Or the boss who treats his golf clubs better than he treats his staff? Or maybe it's just the man who leads his country like he loves his women, only when we serve him.
Harry, where are you going? It's almost time.
He's firing me.
What are you talking about?
I have to go. I'll be right back.
What are you doing?
Just stay here, okay?
Harry, we're so close. Don't do something stupid.
I love you, Jean. You're my best friend. I've never had a friend like you.
Put that down. What are you thinking?
I have to make it end.
No, I'm not going to let you.
Let go and back off.
I won't let you.
I can't do it anymore. It has to end. I have to make it end.
Harriet!
Harriet freezes. She looks at the gun in her hand, a long, horrified moment as Harriet reckons with what she might have done and who she has become.
What's happened to me?
Jean gently approaches. Limp, Harriet allows her to take the gun. Margaret and Bernadette enter at a run.
He's awake.
Fuck.
Where?
On the other side of the stage, waiting to go on.
Fuck.
They cluster in the wings, peering onto the stage.
We told him he took too many pain meds, blacked out, and hit his head. Idiot totally bought it.
Oh, fuck.
The crowd continues to cheer and chant for Stephanie and Dusty. Stephanie sprints into the wings and vomits.
Hey, look who's finally coming down from her little trip.
I feel like the air is stabbing my face.
Yeah, you won't be able to eat solid foods or experience joy for about a week.
And now, the power couple you all been waiting for, FLOTUS and POTUS.
Go get him, Marge.
You look amazing.
Dusty runs off, joining the women in the wings.
Ready? On in 3, 2,
Shit.
1.
He didn't wait for me.
The feminists continue to scream for Stephanie and Dusty. Bring them back! Bring them back!
Oh, anyway, they're so amped from the show, they're not even letting him talk.
Just go out when he's done with the speech.
No, push him off the fucking stage.
Not all of us can just blow up our lives, Chris.
Look at our lives. Look at Harriet.
Fuck.
Look at Stephanie.
What am I wearing?
Look around you.
Who's he winking at?
Errol, the analyst. He's been screwing her since he was elected.
See?
Fuck.
I know you got more than that to say, Harry. You know where all the skeletons are.
Leave her alone.
Go on the record and get out now before you go down with him.
Guys like that don't go down. We're the ones who will go down.
From on stage. Bring them back! Bring them back!
Listen to them. They don't want him. They want an encore. He can't last if you stop saving him.
And someone else will. He won. Lots of people love him.
They don't love him. They're afraid of the alternative.
What's the alternative?
Us.
Us.
Wait. Does FML mean fuck my life?
Yes.
Yes.
I need a cigarette.
He looks like shit.
He looks like he's gonna fall.
You think he's actually going to fall?
Yes.
Should we do something?
No.
No. Will you stay with me?
I'm here.
We all are.
He's white knuckling that podium, but the fucker's still smiling.
Of course he is. He doesn't know.
Harriet takes a long drag on her cigarette. Chris raises the recording device to Harriet's mouth.
There's a cunty Don. No, what?
There's a cunty Don coming.
The women stare out from the wings, tired, united, and braced for war. Bring them back! Bring them back! Bring them back!
Yay! End of play. All right, I'm gonna take this live off. No. Sweet. You guys need a pee break?
I'm good.
Everybody's good? Nice. So, what did you guys think of the script? The play?
Very funny. Very funny.
Hilarious.
I
Very nice
absolutely
satire.
loved it.
Yeah.
I think it helps people laugh at the situation right now because right now our country is divided and everyone's having issues with different things. For me personally, I just say no evil can be formed against me, and I don't worry about it. But I think it gives people an opportunity to laugh about, you know, instead of
Politics.
just laugh about politics.
Mm-hmm. Who else?
I don't know. I felt that it was so comical in a Neil Simon way. I felt that not only was the dialogue hysterical, but it was like the physical comedy just kind of matched it beautifully.
Yeah, I was saying that like if Neil Simon and Stephen Adley Gurgis had a baby and was written by a woman, it's kind of
Yes.
I described it because it's raunchy like Gurgis play, but the physical comedy of Stephanie running around and them trying to hide her and like all of that kind of stuff was very Neil Simon-y.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
very, it feels pretty Veep coded also.
Yeah. hmm Although I like Veep, it was kind of they were stupid in a way, but they were still smart and strong. And so
Yeah.
a part of me didn't, there was some things written in here that kind of made me feel like the women were playing a trope of women rather than really strong like women in politics. Um, so I did have I didn't I mean I liked the play, but I didn't love the play. And I was like, if this is supposed to be a play about super strong women, smart that run the president's office, I didn't actually catch a lot of that in this play. My opinion of that, which is going to be on the record now. So sorry, Selena. But I mean, we're open to discussing stuff like that if you guys want to. And Marquina, if you want to stay for the discussion, I'd love to have you, but you do not have to if you do not want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit for a little bit and then I need to get going. But yeah, I'd love to hear what everybody's opinions are. And are you giving feedback? Is that what you're doing next?
We did audition feedback, so not necessarily performance feedback. But we're just unless somebody has a question or something like that, that's a little different. It's more just being able to analyze the script, find their arcs, and find an opinion about the work itself, because we all do need that. Did anybody else like? I mean, not that I didn't find strength in Harriet, but I just also felt like the drug trip was hilarious, but it wasn't smart. Dusty, she was smart, but she came off as a little tramp, you know. I don't know. I just didn't find everybody to be like the smartest version of a woman that I would have written if I was going to write something. Anybody else feel that, or am I solo in thinking it?
Yeah, I can see that.
I can be
Yeah, it
solo.
turned out that Dusty really wasn't a stupid hick. That she turned out to be quite bright, and she learned how to use the talents that she had, which most women, if they're smart, they do that. So I liked Dusty's part. I thought Dusty did a really good job. You know, I thought the narration was really good. I felt like that the narrator did a really good job, but I think sometimes the actors didn't give him a chance to do his narration because I think, you know, we get excited and that sort of thing, but he didn't give up, and I commend him for that. He didn't get frustrated or whatever. So I thought, I mean, not having a chance to speak, but listen to everybody, it gave me a good sense of what, you know, the 5 W's, what, when, where, why, and how it happened. You know, I mean, I think the fact that they were so clever and they decided to unite, I think that's what made them smart. Each
Mhm.
one of them in their own had a part of a strong woman, but when they united, then they were evidently, in my opinion, stronger.
Yeah.
And I think we were forced, I think each character had its good and its bad. And I think people in general have stupid sides of them and smart sides, you know, and
Mhm.
positive and negative. But I think altogether, they were the best and the worst of women.
Sure. I love that. Who else has a review of the script, I guess is the best word.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead,
No, no,
Philip.
you go.
so I just wanted to say I can't obviously I can't speak on. I mean, I guess they didn't really seem like overly smart when you just take a brief glance at the script, but I feel like it really did a good job of encapsulating how like real workplace life is. Because you got your people you fuck with, you got your people you kind of are at odds with, but you're forced to work together. You got people that you might have hated the entire time, but then something big happens, and then you bond with them randomly in that moment. And I think it kind of captured all of that shit. Everybody seemed capable, even though there was some like buffoonery going on.
Mhm.
Everybody knew that everybody had to handle their jobs. You know what I mean? Even though the internal discussions made it seem like everybody was kind of an idiot, everybody did what they needed to do when
Yeah.
they needed to do it.
And don't necessarily underestimate them.
Exactly. Especially Dusty. I mean, when she first appeared, I mean, she was written to be like, okay, just some little side piece that got knocked up. You know what I mean? And then she comes in and she saves the day on like 4 or 5 different occasions. So yeah, I think I liked it a lot, to be honest. And I like seeing you all perform, and I would love to have seen it on stage.
Right. Stephanie, how did you feel your Southern accent went?
I think it went pretty well considering I've never done it before.
I thought it was a great choice for Dusty. Even though, you mentioned it's like it's not from Iowa, but I just keep hearing her in a Southern accent and stuff like that is like if you get cast in it, like that's an easy thing to rewrite, if you're workshopping, something, right?
When I saw I got the part, I kept reading it and I was like, how am I gonna make this stand out? I just like wasn't sitting right with me. And then all I kept hearing was Southern accent, like unassuming Southern belle. And so when I asked you about it, I was happy you said I could do it because I was like, that's all I can hear. I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna
Go
watch
for it.
Landman every night until I get it right.
That's your creativity calling. And that's something that Mr. Carnegie would say, like that's your instinct. Go for it, right? And if it's right, it's right. If it's not, they'll tell you.
I
Right?
never put it on my resume because I was always afraid to when they say in an audition, sometimes you just have to pull it out.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to hear it before, but I might put it on there now.
Great choice. Tommy, how did you feel reading a woman's role?
Oh boy, camera freeze there. Sorry. Yeah, I think there's like a like an accident waiting to happen with like leaning too hard into a stereotype, and so the kind of the main goal was not to lead into like a stereotypical soft voice or something like that. But the writing I thought was really sharp in some places that I feel like outside of a couple opportunities that they referred to Jean as her, it felt like it didn't have to necessarily read as like a cis female role.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If I needed to try to open it up to any male or
Yeah.
trans or whatever people. And I felt like Jean was the best option for that. Mostly because the get off my dick
Yeah.
line
Yeah.
could be either way. And she's a mom, but like that doesn't really mean anything gender-wise these days. It could be anything. So I kind of just went with it to see what would happen. So Michelle, you have your hand raised?
Yes. Should the actors have adjusted their terminology that instead of saying he, should they have said she or she instead of, should we have
Not
done that?
necessarily, because we don't know at this point on a table read, we don't know what the director's choices are, right? We don't know if he could be trans presenting as woman, and like who knows, or a woman presenting as male. Like
So in other words, don't change the dialogue to.
Don't change the dialogue without like having talk to the director.
Okay.
Just by seeing. Like if you show up to the table read and you see Jean to you looks male, don't just change the dialogue unless it's been told, hey, Jean is going to be played. Gina, there's a rewrite. Jean is now a man. Sure. then you can work that in. But I wouldn't just do it by yourself without talking to the director first, without knowing what's going on. Jay, did you want to say something? I thought because there was a time when everybody was trying to speak over everybody.
It's interesting because, circling back to your thought on, how these women are portrayed and they're not portrayed exactly in the brightest light. And it has me wondering, well, I mean, a lot of things they have to say and their thought process, they're very enlightened. These are very enlightened individuals. And what they say is very thought provoking. However, they've been positioned in one idiotic situation after another. And you know that philosophy, never get into an argument with an idiot. They'll bring you down to their level and beat you with experience.
Mhm.
It was almost I kind of wondered if, if it was just really written that way for women or written that way, and portrayed in such a way, or if these were genuinely really smart women and they were just put into like one stupid situation after another and it just kind of brought them,
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it was funny.
Yeah, yeah.
It all lent itself to a very, very funny, fast-paced play. So I'm not complaining about it at all. So that's a very good thought.
Yeah, it just had me thinking. Like I just wanted to piggyback on that because I was like, oh, I think that's very interesting. Yeah.
Did everybody find their character arcs? And I love in a play, like kind of like a TV show, right? Your arc can do like a very swirly motion. Did everybody find their journey of their character, where they were going, where they ended up?
Uh, Sorry to say I didn't.
You didn't?
I will say, and I will full disclosure right now, I feel bad because I was filming all weekend long, so I felt like I didn't really give it the focus that I felt that it needed since I haven't done a play in several years. And also too, I was nervous because
Mhm.
of that. And I felt with Bernadette, if only I had more time with her, I felt that I would have found some arcs and places where I felt she was a little more carefree when I felt, rigid in her
Yeah.
skin.
Well, where did we all end up? That's a good question. That's a good way to find your main arc is where did we all end up? You guys go. What did we end up doing?
Oh, with Dusty's character, I found out that initially she was very underrated as being very less than intelligent. I mean, she was like, just a throwaway person, it seemed
Mhm.
like so she didn't really matter to anybody. And I think that's where I saw the biggest transformation was with Dusty, is that she went from this, kind of a prostitute, dalliance kind of person who was just someone who could be thrown away, to where later on Margaret and other people were thanking her for, stepping up and being more than what they expected her to be.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Well, is that a character arc or just a character reveal? Because that may not have just because we don't see all of Dusty doesn't mean that that part of Dusty wasn't always there, right?
that's
So,
true.
I mean, this is a creativity thing, but I think we have to make sure that a reveal of a character is different than the arc of the character. And the arc is the change. What changed?
Transformation.
Yeah, that transformation. And each scene is going to have their transformation and their journey, but then there's the overarching. So at the very end of the play, we all band together to take POTUS down, basically, right? Like
Mhm.
let him be his own tragedy, right? And we're all
Yeah.
banding together and we're like, you know what? We are strong women, we are smart women. We don't need to deal with this anymore. If we just kind of let him
Right.
implode, then we can be done and we can move on. Versus at the beginning, we were all just desperately trying to keep our jobs, right? And fix this so that we can have a place to go to work next year. Right? So there's your overarch, how do we get there? So if you can find those two things, especially in a play, then you can kind of connect your dots. Like where is this scene on this arc, on this transformation? Where does that all happen? And then there might be little callbacks because of a play. Plays are really smart, right? So in the first couple of scenes, you might, by the time you get to the end, you're like, oh, that is a callback from here. I see where that all ties together. And you can find little moments that help you draw your character's life in this, I don't know, what, a couple of hours in this play, but sometimes plays are days or years or something like that, depending on the play. That's an easy way to start that journey in a play. Anybody else find little nuggets and even if not just the character arc of the whole play, but maybe in scenes? Did you find a specific scene that you were like, oh, this is a huge transformation scene for my character?
I guess me doing drugs. It's a huge part because like my character is so filled with anxiety and the thought of losing my job, and I'm trying to be this perfect person. And when I confront Dusty in the bathroom, I question him like, how many languages do you speak? Because I'm like, are like, what do you have on me that would make me not feel safe? And then later on, when I'm still drugged up, I save the relationship between countries. And I'm also speaking French, Spanish, and Arabic um, while high. So I'm still able to, how do I say this? I feel like it more of took the anxiety out of my character, and I was still able to function, still able to do my job, even though I was smearing blood everywhere and putting post-its everywhere. It just more of let my character be free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely your scene when you save the day on that call, speaking Arabic, and then you lick Harriet's face and say, "You're welcome." Right? And you're just like, no more are you begging for her approval. You're just like, mic drop for Stephanie. Right there.
Yeah, it was definitely going from fearing everybody in the office, like when Dusty even asked, I was just like, oh, they're all too much. And then as I'm on drugs, I'm like running around doing the craziest things. And then I have the balls to grab the phone and
Mm-hmm.
just start talking and fix it all. And, everybody's panicked, but then they're like, oh, okay, I guess it worked.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I
very
guess
good.
that's what I noticed with my
Juliet,
character.
do you have a scene that for Chris that sticks out as like a big transformational scene?
Yes, the biggest transformational scene is when they caught her in the closet and she ends up throwing the busk on killing the president, not really killing him, but knocking him out. That's the biggest shift for her because she's thinking that she has the biggest scoop
Mm-hmm.
sitting in the closet, but she didn't. Obviously, she didn't turn her breast pump off, which would have been perfect if she didn't do that. But after that, going through that and having everyone immediately um, bond together as a team to help her not be the only one that's um, going to be blamed for that. That was really nice for her. I think that that's part of her transition into I'm just here to get my scoop. I'm just here to get the story because I'm about to lose my job because the gene was right. Um, and then also to I'm working together as a team and I'm gonna like hype up um, everybody to just bond together to go against POTUS because really I didn't really respect the president in the first place. So yeah, I was really rooting for um, the president's wife to just be everything that she could be. And yeah, I
So
think
she's
that
just
was
trying
the
to keep
biggest.
her job too, right? And
Right.
I think that's something that we all realized that we were all just trying to act in our own best interest. And I love that, Juliet, for Chris, like the camaraderie between the women could be something transformational in itself. A newly divorced mom of three that's still fighting for her job at the news office, even like she doesn't really even have camaraderie there. So to suddenly be thrown into this camaraderie, that being a huge transformational moment, I love that. I love that for you.
Yeah, I agree. I love that too.
Yeah. Tommy, did you raise your hand? No? Marquina, what did you think about Margaret? I loved your take
Um,
on her. You were like very regal in her, which was different than how I read it. So I loved seeing your take on her.
yeah, I kind of went with that approach because it's not very often that you see somebody like me being first lady, right? It's happened only one other time. And
Hmm.
so I felt like she had to be a certain kind of person. Um, or at least I would have wanted to see a certain kind of person. And so I think that's why I went with that kind of approach to her. But I mean, she is kind of, as you know, Ash, I mean, that's the kind of character I play. Like
Hmm.
I feel like I get cast in characters like that all the time. That's my thing. And so when I saw her, I instantly related to her. When
Well,
I
she
read
has
it, I
that. Do you think
instantly,
I think you think I dreamed about wearing what was it? Wearing heels or Crocs? I don't know. There's something about dreaming about wearing heels or something that she says that
yeah,
definitely fits that.
yeah. And that's nice because you don't always get that. It was nice to get a character um that, you can just read like a few lines of what she's saying and you're like, oh yeah, I get her. I
Hmm.
get her. Let me play with this. It would have been even more fun if it was something that, once you get off book, then you can really play.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it was good. I liked her a lot.
Nice. And I liked.
Very well written play, by the way. I mean, um, I think regardless to how you feel about the subject matter and the characters and whatever, I just think, we've read so many plays that to come across something where the language and the dialogue comes like just flowing off of your
Hmm.
tongue, no matter
Hmm.
who you're reading for,
Hmm.
is a huge blessing.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
agree. It's something so conversational that
Hmm.
it feels like it's. I mean, that's what we all try to do, right? You want it to feel like it's improvised,
Yeah.
right? That's the idea. But when it's easy for us to say those words, it's really kind of nice. I like
But
the
I got to get
callbacks.
going. I got an audition I need to get to. Thanks so much for
Right.
having me.
Yes, break legs, Kina. It's nice to see you, babe.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Good job.
And Michelle has to go.
Good
All
to
right.
know.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, we can, I don't want to keep you guys if you're late where you are, you're welcome to jump off whenever you need to, but I'm happy to sit and keep talking about the play. It's super fun for me. So, I love talking about this stuff. So, yeah, I thought it was, again, it's easy to read. Like we read it what in 2 hours? Not even that. Like an hour and 40 minutes, I think. Right, for a whole play. So it reads really, really quickly. Um, and I think the hard part of this play to put it up on its feet would be to find the moments for it to breathe, right? Because I know, like Tommy, you're like real fast,
Mm.
which is hilarious in a comedy, and pacing has to be up high. But finding those moments where you can like, yeah, take that breath, in the awkward pause or whatever. I think that would be probably the hardest thing is to make sure that we are finding those moments when you put it up on its feet. What else? What other observations, questions you guys have about the play itself? No? So the audition process for plays, at least in New York, um, is usually a monologue first. Okay. So I know a lot of New York actors have like a portfolio of monologues, right? Like they're ready to go. They've got a comedy, they've got a blah, blah, they've got their strengths like in a little package, right? Ready to go. And usually you're gonna go to an open call of some sort for a play, right? And you present a monologue, usually a minute, and they'll tell you we want a 1 minute monologue of your choice or whatever. They'll give you a little stipulation, and they might while you're in there say, "What else you got?" That's why you have a portfolio, okay? Then from there, that's when they do in your callbacks is when they start bringing you into the script and in your play. So Just be aware of that. You may not get a reader. I mean, not a reader. You may not get a scene partner to work with, or you might. I don't know. It varies from my experience and from the casting directors that I've spoken with. Maybe you're paired up in a later callback, but from the casting directors that I spoke with recently, like nowadays, it's not too many auditions. It's maybe like two, three auditions before they're casting a play, which kind of sounds nice to us film people that have to go through the ranks all the time. So that sounded refreshing to me. I know, like, used to, like, I would audition with monologues, but still not very often. Used to, I would, be straight into like reading the play with people. Like, you'd be paired up and you'd get a scene and you get to do it, right? Which is scary but fun at the same time because you're actually playing with people. But anybody else have experience with plays recently? I know, Jay, you're getting right back into plays. So it's been a while for you too. It's been a while since I've auditioned for a play. So anybody else auditioning for plays?
I've never.
I've done small theater.
Small theater out there in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tommy, you doing any plays?
Yeah, I've been auditioning for a play since like 2020 or 2019, I should say. Oh my God. Uh, yeah, golly. I mean, I feel like LA does have a good, not a really good non-musical theater scene. I just need to lean into it.
It's got a lot of little stuff, but
Yeah,
it's different than New York, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
New
yeah.
York, you're theater actors and you are out there and you've got your monologues and you go. It's probably going to be different auditioning for plays out there in LA. Um, and I know that they still, I mean, they cast a lot of the Pasadena Playhouse and stuff like that locally out of LA. It's not all tours that come through. And then even some of the Pantages stuff, um, like they'll cast swings or stand-ins or not stand-ins. Oh my God. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Understudies out locally. So, um, the opportunity to get into theater in LA isn't unheard of. And then here in Arizona, we have a lot of theaters actually. Um, and so I'm actually going to start reaching out to a bunch of them, try to develop a bit of a relationship for the Playhouse and see if we can get involved in more on stage stuff out here in Arizona, because that would be cool to do. But what questions do you guys have about coming into the table read process and doing this, or about breaking down the script or the play? I mean, you guys most of you all had a very good handle of the show. I didn't have any complaints really. Sorry, Stephanie.
Yeah. I guess just how much to like actually act out. Because, I did one table read for the I could, and then the more minor actors were sitting down. So I tried standing this time. Last time I sat down, and I think I liked it for the most part, but you know what I mean? When he's reading the narration, how much are you actually supposed to try to act out?
I think it's up to you. I don't think anybody's holding it against you if you're sitting down.
Yeah.
Unless you are in a staged reading, which is a little different than a table read. A staged
Yeah.
reading, you're most likely going to be standing up and you're going to be more rehearsed. A staged
Okay.
reading will usually have at least one rehearsal before it. Because then they're going to want like scene partners, standing next to each other. Usually the chairs are like in a semicircle for everybody else, and that'll be a staged reading where you're up and you're actually kind of on your feet interacting with everybody.
Okay.
Versus a table read, you'll likely, that means called a table because sometimes there's a table, right? And you're like literally sitting around the table. If it helps you
Yeah.
to mime and act things out, I mean, I loved you guys. Like Juliet had her keys, and then you had, a couple different things. Jay did a lot of stuff physically. Act it out. If it helps
Okay.
you, act it out.
Okay.
Nobody's going to be like, oh, right? Doing that. But it's a table read. So we also know that we're not on our feet, right? So if
Right.
You don't. As long as you are alive in your character and you know what's going on, if you don't know how to pronounce a word when you're reading through it, you better have looked it up, that kind of a
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
You're gonna be fine.
Okay.
Especially for a big play. And everybody was a lead in this, right? There's not really any singular lead. Juliet?
Yeah, I just had a question. With everything being said, would you consider casting a theater show with one of the things that we put on a table read? The actual.
I'm considering doing Mary Jane out here.
Oh, cool.
It's only a 5-person cast and a very simple set. So I'm considering doing that. It's just a matter of time and resources for doing that. But I would love to. I miss the theater a lot. I did, it's been a long time since I've been on stage. So at least 5 years, and that's too long in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, so yes, I consider it, but I'm considering doing Mary Jane, which was the one we did before. I also have to consider my audience, which is Arizona. Right. So I don't think that POTUS would be a good one for us up here in Phoenix. I think Mary Jane could work, but it's still going to be a very small audience. I doubt it'll get a huge pool, so I'd have to do it, for very little money because it probably won't make any money, right? So I had to put the business hat on for a second rather than just the actor who loves doing stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That would be fun.
It would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I have some contacts at the Geffen.
Oh yeah?
Mhm.
To be?
In
Nice.
LA,
Yeah,
for
nice.
that sort of thing. So
Yeah, there's a new performing arts center opening up in Litchfield Park, which is not too far from me. I have a meeting with them on Monday to maybe be like an artistic director type position, which I would love because it's also got a school attached to it. So it's like performing arts school and like performing arts center.
nice.
So I would be real excited to be like a part of that development and like developing a curriculum for the kids to come in. And I would like to let me dream with you guys. I would love to do like some student productions, but also bring in professional audition, like productions. So we're kind of mixing them and then feeding the students into professional levels as they, go through the ranks. And then before sending them out. Oh, we lost Jay. Okay. So that's also something, I mean, I would love to do, but we'll see. We'll see how that meeting goes.
And then I had another question because I did want to do kind of just an overview of my character and everything, like a one-on-one. Do you it's for 30 minutes? Can we do like an hour? Does that work too, or can we pay extra for like an hour?
Sure. Yeah, we can do an hour if you wanted to do an hour. To pay a little bit more for that. But yeah, you already get because I don't think we've had a free one for you. We haven't had your session yet. So you get your free half hour. And so if you want to book a little extra time, just text me and let me know and we'll figure that out. Happy to do that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Philip, how was your experience, man? This is your first time.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was the pacing is real fast and we blazed through 90 something pages, you know what I'm saying? And like it didn't feel like it was a drag, you know what I mean? It was dope. I mean, I would definitely be interested in doing it again. I could narrate forever or, do characters as well or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like
I never give the narrator an audition for the narrator. You always get an audition. And then we go from there. I think Eurice and Juliet and Tommy, you were the only 3 that auditioned for the part that you got. And I think the other 3 got put into different parts from different auditions just because of the audition. So just because you audition for one thing doesn't mean I don't cast you. Sometimes I for Abbott Elementary, I had people that weren't cast because I had like 30 auditions and not as many parts. But for the generally, I try to find a part for everybody. I try. So yeah. All right. Well, I won't keep you guys. I know it's late. It was a pleasure reading this. Thank you for all like joining me on a play. It's not very sexy for a lot of actors. And the attendance for this month with the plays has been really low. So, but I love plays. I love them so much. So I had to do for my birthday month plays, and I'm so glad that you guys joined me. It was just a blast, and watching you guys put these characters was so fun. It was so fun to watch your take on everything. And Juliet, like when you went, you really excelled on the parts where you were trying to think about what you were saying, like what, no, what, all of that, like it was so very natural. Does that make sense what I'm talking about?
Yes, thank you.
So very, I was like, oh, she's really, really good at that for sure. Yeah. So, and then, I mean, I just really loved everybody's take and performance. So it was a lot of fun to watch. The link will be posted tomorrow. You guys can watch it back if you want.
And you said you'll post it on Instagram also, or some clips, or
I just posted live for anybody that wanted to listen in, but I'm not sharing it on Instagram.
Okay.
I only do the YouTube, so I just posted live for anybody that wanted to listen in. Nobody stayed for the whole time, but you know, it is what it is. It's a, I can't imagine somebody coming in and being like, "Shit, fucking cocksucker, screwdriver, what?" So anyway, you guys will get the link tomorrow. It was a pleasure.
It was fun.
Great
Thank
night.
you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.